Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode number 46 of Just Another G.I. Joe show. We're a little shorthanded on who's supposed to be here, but we're going to be just really talking, shooting the crap, really. This is our 2-year anniversary show, so this will be the last show of 2018. So basically, I am watching in the chat, so we'll take in some questions if people have questions or if anybody's even watching. Oh, there's 2 watching. We're 2 waiting to watch. I guess it's
it's a slow night. That's why I'm on the show. So
Fred is riding out a tornado. And John, I don't know if he knew about it or forgot. And then Bobby is running a little bit late, so he should be here any minute. So until he gets here, we're actually going to have a little thing I've been working on for Bobby. On the side, we've been doing it on Facebook because he is on. I thought he was on Twitter, but he's not on Twitter. He's just on Instagram, is where he's located at. So, so until they get here, we'll kind of get into. Let me break this window down. So hold on a second. We'll kind of get into the what's going on so far. For people who don't know. And we'll just mention this. The Collectors Club did send out a couple of emails. One, they do have the figure subscription service 8 in. No, they're not going to ship all 13 figures at one time.
Too logical.
I know, exactly. Especially since they're all paid for. They will be, if you do the USPS, you should have got a notification that shows you that that you have a label made. I'm sure some people who do FedEx should have gotten that as well. So hopefully y'all have gotten that and you know about that. So they're going to ship one out. The label's made, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. So that should be shipping out Wednesday or Thursday next week. Mm-hmm. And then they plan on getting another one out before Christmas.
Yeah, the 24th is before Christmas. So
let's hope that actually shows up. I know usually once mine ships, like if it ships on Wednesday, I'll have it by Friday.
Oh, right on.
Because I'm only 4 hours from the club. That's why I stalk him all the time. I know exactly where he lives at. So I just going down there and knock on his gate. Let me in. The other email we got, what was the other email?
About, oops, I didn't mean to say FSS 7, JK, FSS 8.
Oh, no, there were some. Yeah, he said,
hey, don't forget there's still these umpteen sets available.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, so if you're doing the, and a lot of people don't get the emails. We don't know why you don't get the emails. And when there's, over 2-3 handfuls of people who get them and you can't explain why they're not getting them, then it's actually kind of funny, to be honest with you. But anyways, he had said that he had all these questions that were being asked about the Final 12 and the Zartan and the Cobra female troopers, which in my real question was, are these the same people who were the ones that wanted the highly demanded figures that no one else wanted?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, he says that the Final 12 has been sold about 35 to 40% through their allotted. So we know they have so many done, but they've only sold so much percent in, what's it been, 2 weeks maybe?
Bummer.
So, I mean, he's not selling a whole lot, which granted, I truly believe the timing of this is horrible.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, he did bring into factor how this is working up with the way the Transformers Collectors Club went, which we've talked about it before. I don't recall. I mean, I know for a fact the Collectors Club did not make us pay for the last FSS in full before. They said because we had started the payment process that they could continue taking the payments because we were on a payment arrangements. So I don't understand the reasoning why on this end. I don't understand. My real reason was that at the end of the year, it's just Brian and his wife. working that, as my understanding, everyone will be let go from the Collectors Club come first of the year. So with it being 30 to 40%, what do y'all think? You think you're going to hold out to the first of the year to buy them now, or what?
I'm not buying them.
Not buying nothing?
No. At the end of the day, man, I was really interested in getting the entire set, the Zartan and the 3-pack. But then once the prices first dropped, forgive me, I don't mean to be one of those rabble club prices, blah, blah, kind of people, but and I dig the price increase, and I dig where Bobby was coming from when he kind of educated us as to the process. It's still a tough pill to swallow for me when 2 repaints are the same price as a masterpiece. It's just tough. On top of it, I really at the most wanted barbecue and lowlight, and I don't know, the 2 figures that I got for $20 shipped, or 2 more for 96 before shipping, and that extra $1 for the bubble wrap that I never see anyway. I got to draw the line somewhere, and more power to them. I hope they sell out, and I hope it's a fortuitous venture for them. I'm just not in it at all.
Rick, where are you at on? I know you were old enough because you
No,
know,
I bought a few.
Oh,
I wanted all.
Okay.
I wanted all of them. I mean, I would like to have all of them. I mean, I usually do most of the club's product. I just felt like they were too expensive at the wrong time. I had just bought my son for Christmas. He's got a birthday. We've got Christmas and birthday in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I just wasn't in a place where I could say to myself, I can't spend like $800 on these figures, and some of which were really cool. Like if they had done a 3-pack with hit and run, low light, and barbecue, they had done a 3-pack, I would have gotten that and Zartan and been like a thief in the night, in and out. I ended up I got the hit and run and whoever he's with because I wanted the hit and run.
Is it Toner Rat?
I can't remember. And I wanted the Marauders to finish off that set like everybody else. Right. And I got the Zartan. So I got the ones that I had to have, and I sucked it up, and got those few. But this is the first time where I just couldn't do it. If it had been like maybe like next spring, I may have jumped at it a little more. But yeah, like with so much going on, and I just can't warrant it. It's like I think about it, and it's like these three and a quarter figures, and I'm spending like what was it, like $40 a figure? I mean, it's just gotten insane, and it's fine. It's almost over. I get it, and I understand the people that did get them. I don't blame them one bit. If they've been in it and completing it from the beginning to the end, it has been one hell of an expensive journey, and I understand it. I completely get it.
Yes,
I just couldn't do it.
With that being said, when he got a brain fart all of a sudden now because Bobby popped in. Threw me off. What's up, Bobby? What'd he say?
Said I tend to do that to people.
Yeah, a little intimidating, pops up there. So I know me personally, I want to get the I want to finish off the Marauder set as well more than anything else. And with me being a huge Tiger Force fan, I can, that's something I'm sadly going to have to put on the very, very back burner and just, maybe get it later on down the road. Yeah. Some people on the forums are saying how, like some people want to army build the Viper, and they're like, I know I probably won't see my return on selling Dodger, to get half of what you paid for it. You're basically looking at $50 a figure in the long run on that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a price that collectors are just going to have to realize that they're either going to have to suck it up and realize they're going to sell that figure for a loss to get their hands on that Viper and true build them to their heart's content. Or, you don't do it. Unfortunately, with our community, there's no happy medium like, you know what, I'll skip it. It's either one way on the pendulum, one way or the other. It's either the best freaking thing or the worst freaking thing. So I'm really looking forward to the fireworks as we get closer to the end of their stock. And they're like, what? Instead of $96, how about tree fitted? And everyone on every board from here to Timbuktu is going to lose their freaking mind. Like I got freaking orange. Right. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
With damn it, I lost my concentration again.
Damn it, dude. What are you doing?
That's what happens when you lose a toe.
Let's
You
hang
forget
on
everything
sort of.
else.
Yo, toe.
Yo, toe.
My wife told me if I didn't do that, I was going to get punished. And I was like, well, I do like getting punished, but I'm going to say it anyway because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. In the email, one thing Brian did point out was that he doesn't know anything for the future of Hasbro. And with Hasbro doing the layoffs, and unfortunately, Daryl and Bobby being let go, and Brian saying along the lines, this is something that you probably will never see again in this format. Do we believe this is true, or do we want to believe, or is it him making us think buy my toys, or is it are we really kind of thinking we won't see the blister card this way again, like we have been seeing from the club and from Hasbro in the past? When we talk about the new Snake Eyes movie, we figure, are we going to see some really high demanded articulated figures or not?
Well, I mean, to your first point, I'd say it's a little bit of both. I can't knock them for the, hey, you're never going to see this again, buy it now. That's any other sales tactic ever. Like, hey, supplies running low, act quick.
Yeah.
But to the point of whether or not we're going to see something again, I'm hopeful, but I wouldn't say that we're going to, man. We treated the line like poop. We were the wait for Ross crowd. So, while you go out into the stores and see new Fortnite figures on the shelves, which effing Fortnite, really? It's kind of like a bummer not to see, figure whatever there. But I mean, it is what it is, man. I can't say that we were anything but our worst enemies in some cases. I still giggle when people used to scoff at a gorgeous re-released Tomahawk being $40, or the Sky Striker being $40. Like, are you kidding?
What were people waiting on? I think it was like a Toys R Us. You can get it for like less than $5 on clearance if you wait it.
Yeah, if you waited, or if you waited for them to hit Ross, because of course Ross was the end all be all for all that jazz. But again, you don't support it at retail. You wait for it at clearance, then you wonder why it's not at retail. Okay.
Well, I mean, in some aspects, I know on the Transformer side, I know Rick can probably vouch for this, is that sometimes the toys that ended up at Ross were the ones that never made to the mass retail.
Sure.
Like Skylinks.
The hunt for the on stuff and all that jazz.
Yeah, there's stuff that made to, and then of course, if people went there and they cleared it out, then it was, then it was supply and demand on that end.
Oh yeah, same thing with the latter wave Rise of Cobra vehicle and figure packs that were all environment themed and looked more like a POC release. The ATV with what's that guy's name? ATV with leather neck, the glider, all that jazz. Those were going for what, $5.99 a pop at Ross, and people were going nuts trying to hunt them down because they never made it to normal retail.
Right. I remember when all of a sudden that which one? It was Toys R Us had gotten like a shipment of what was it? It was a Jungle Bat, it was Blowtorch, Cobra Commander, Hawk.
The Cobra, yep.
That was just like what, a couple years ago?
Yeah, like a random funky old wave of repacks, which was like, holy cow, okay.
Yeah, and people went crazy, clean the shelves off. And of course, I did the same thing for the bats, is what I wanted. So Bobby, tell us what's going on, man.
Nothing, dude. How's your toe, or lack thereof toe?
It's gone. For people who don't know, I had surgery this past week. I had a toe amputated because of not taking care of myself on my diabetes. Basically, it's what it amounted to.
I can't believe they wouldn't let you put it around your neck.
No, and someone told me, and this isn't to crack a religious joke, but someone messaged me. He's like, "Tell your doctor you're Jewish, and he has to let you keep it." Yeah, I told him that, he wasn't buying it. So,
dude, you should send it to Kevin Watts and have him make a mold of it, and we can make our toe D2 and bootleg crap out of that thing on the open market, man.
Yeah. But no, I had that, and then of course that was on Wednesday, and then Thursday we had dentist appointments because my insurance runs out at the end of the month. Well, then I found out I got to have 2 caps and a filling done. So, which one of the caps I've had for 25 years, and he said it had a hole or a small hole in the top of it and needed to be replaced. So, the last
chewing.
Welcome to the 40s.
I know. Well, the reason it broke when I was 15 was I was eating candy in class at school. It was Annihilator, and it broke that damn tooth right off. So yeah, but yeah, he replaced one. Yeah, I have temporaries on right now, but like yesterday, I tried to eat like a soft taco, and you talk about just pain and agony. It hurts so bad afterwards.
Oh, buddy.
But so 2 weeks, I go in to have the permanent ones put on, and then that'll be all of it there. But
Good luck with that, man. Please take care of yourself. I'm getting real fucking. Oh, pardon my language. I'm getting real tired of hearing of some other wacky hijinks that ensued with you.
I know, right? I'm going to go ahead and do something a little special I have planned. Again, Fred is riding out a tornado. I have not heard from him yet, and then John did not respond. So
I'm gonna text Fred right now and give him shit.
can you give him shit? He's in his basement.
I'm giving him shit.
John's over on the full force right now. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I love you. I love you. Shout out to Chris. Oh, sorry. Free publicity.
that's all right.
I'm a jerk.
All right, and this is something I had done for Bobby from from everybody. I posted most of this over on Facebook because at the time I thought I knew for sure Bobby was on Instagram, but I thought he was on Twitter as well. So I reached out to people who have the San Diego Comic-Con version of the Missile Command set, and everyone wanted to reach out, after they had heard that you were let go from Hasbro, kind of wanted to, let you know about how they felt, show support for you, basically, is what it was.
That's awesome.
So let me get this going correctly.
Get ready to do something techie. Watch out, everybody.
Oh,
He's got Wind Beneath My Wings queued up in the back.
I hope so.
in a half hour.
Assholes. Now, some people did not get the whole note thing, but most of them got it.
Spelled my name wrong.
Do what?
One guy spelled my name wrong. That's all right. Well, I guess a lot of people bought that set.
Now, this one here of all the troopers, that's Kevin that I was telling you about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if he sent you a picture or not, but he had a really huge collection.
He sent me a picture. I sent him a nice gift for buying so many. He went through Rick's too quick.
That's because
We'll look at Rick again. We'll look at Rick again.
No, you don't have to.
We'll watch it again. So,
Sir Fred, you've made it, my good man.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting night for us here this evening.
Glad to see you're okay, man.
Was coming home from running some errands, and all of a sudden, the local news, we knew there was going to be weather, and it was supposed to be west of us. No, it was just south of us, which is funny because the year I moved back to the area, about 2003, an EF4 went through and nailed the town south of us and wiped out some high lines and all that. And so my better half is always, oh, you're out, just don't worry about it. And she's upstairs watching comedies, and they're like on the news going, if you live near South Peak, and get your butt to the basement now. So yeah, that was good times. Our yard is full of hard candy size hail.
Oh,
So
nice.
and my truck's outside, but it's my truck. It's like a 2008. It'll be fine.
yeah. Well, it matters if you guys are okay, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The worst of it was over near where her parents live. We've had like 5 or 6 tornadoes touch down here this afternoon, which is weird. Because it's like we were in the 30s, and all of a sudden today it was close to 60. And when that happens, that's just bad juju. But a winery just west of us, they said on the news, is gone.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, that sucks. They just opened. So
Wow.
anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about these little plastic men, such as you notice who I saved when there was bad weather. I was like, I'm taking crystal ball. That guy's got some pull.
Fred, did you see the thing?
Wow, what the hell are you doing, buddy?
Oh, you're watching Mike's screen share? This is good times.
Oh, it's yeah.
See, the problem is when Mike screen shares, none of us can talk so that we can actually see what he's
Yeah, it doesn't lock.
Oh,
It
y'all
doesn't
stop talking.
lock on it.
Stop talking.
Doing some.
I knew everyone wanted to see Rick one more time, so that's why I was playing it one more time. And when the show's over, I'll email this to you, Bobby.
Yeah, Mike, can you send me all those pictures? And I don't know if it's possible. Can you get me emails for everyone, or if those people are on Instagram or something, tell them to reach
Actually,
out. I kind of thank everyone for thanking me.
I think I do. I'll have to go back on Messenger and find all of them. But yeah,
Gotcha.
I can find it.
That's super great. That's awesome that you guys did that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So yeah, we just wanted to say, thanks for everything, and we knew everyone really liked the Missile Command set, and you were really proud of it. So we wanted to, we went with that as far as, all the other Joe stuff. We're like, we'll do that one since that was the real big thing, so.
Who the hell knew you were so thoughtful?
Do what?
The funny thing is, I am very proud of that set. However, you told me it's not the greatest thing I worked on.
That was the greatest Joe thing. The greatest Marvel thing, my opinion, is that Affinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's a big tier right there, man. Of
Kevin Feige thought so too.
that's what I'm saying. It's some awesomeness right there, man. I mean, that's pretty badass.
This isn't Kevin level, but I can promise you, if my wife gives me the green light without any hesitation, just go. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Go buy that. Then yeah, awesome. It's an awesome piece.
You should just go buy it.
Yeah, just go get it.
I think the next round of photos is everybody holding their favorite beer, wearing the Infinity Gauntlet.
Awesome.
Or in Bobby's case, scotch or bourbon.
Bourbon. It's actually only strong enough to hold like half a beer. A whole beer kind of slides out.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
I love the fact that you tested this.
Bro, come on. I got a lot of free time now. I got to test this kind of stuff.
It'll hold a can, but anything in a bottle, it just won't touch.
Hey, Eric, did we meet at JoeCon? Were you at JoeCon? I can't remember if we met at JoeCon.
No, sir. Unfortunately, we are not. I was supposed to go, plane tickets and all that jazz, and then my job was kind enough to tell me that I wouldn't be heading out anywhere anytime soon. Party time. Yeah, I love them, so what can you do? So no, sir, not as of yet. Believe it or not, brother, although I've been involved in the Joe News jazz nonsense for a little too long than I care to admit, the last JoeCon I actually physically went to was New Orleans, I think. Maybe it was New Orleans. So it's been a minute, man. I haven't gone to any during the modern era sculpt sets.
Oh, have you not?
No, man.
You have.
Brother, it's always been some wacky hijinks that ensues that I try to go and I can't go, or I'm moving from one freaking state to the other, or just something. And then JoeCon's always at like the most inopportune time. It's like, hey, next year it's on leap year or Christmas or, Yom Kippur, some jazz.
No one is more disappointed with their scheduling than they are.
Yeah, hey, you know what? They'll see you in NOLA, buddy. Thanks for the No, let's not be spicy. No, but I got to meet you soon, brother. So it's either going to be you head out to Joe Fest next year for sure, or HasCon. I'll definitely shake your hand and buy you around.
Yeah, if I'm still in Rhode Island when HasCon rolls around, I was planning on having a kind of a GI Joe party kind of get together for all the Joe fans that actually make it out to HasCon.
BobbyCon. It's called BobbyCon.
Bring your toe, dude.
Oh, bring the toe. Here's a quick question, and this has been brought up before, and there's a couple people talking about it in the chat. And, like we said earlier, how Savage is saying, this is probably the last time we see G.I. Joe in this fashion. And, a good friend of mine, Rick's, he's always talking about how he would love to get into G.I. Joe, but he wants to get into G.I. Joe if it's a 6-inch line. And I know we've talked about it, and Fred's already made his opinion. And Bobby, I think we talked about it before, but do we think that that they could do a 6-inch line for possibly the Snake Eyes movie, or to start something new? I mean, is that something we want? 'Cause I know Fred had made a post over on JBL about, our toys from Hasbro, or do we need these toys to be made for children, then collectors, or strictly collectors? And I know the children's answer was like leading the way by far on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything.
Right. I mean,
It's like my feelings on it are all over the place. It's like, one, I don't want them to succeed in anything. I don't want it. It's like, that's totally, expected of me to think that. It's like, but if they do something, I said on the last show, I don't think that movie's getting off the ground unless Bumblebee makes $500 million. That I don't see.
They've been pushing the shit out of it here lately.
Snake Eyes getting made, and if Snake Eyes does get made, it's certainly not going to be a kids movie. It's going to be a PG-13 action movie, just like Bumblebee. No kids are going to see Bumblebee. They're not going to sell kid product for Bumblebee. So if they do a Snake Eyes movie, you're going to get, 15 items. It's going to be the same, shit effort that they have put into anything Joe related that they're going to put into this. The company has shown they have no respect for the brand, and I can say respect because they don't. They have zero respect for the brand that made their company what it is. And you can tell I'm super bitter about it because the people there at the top have no clue about the history of that company. They didn't know where it came from. They're just making millions of dollars sitting at the top making really stupid decisions. So, I don't care what they do with Snake Eyes. I don't care. I hope it's not successful if it does get off the ground. The team of people that are going to be working on it, good luck, guys. As consumers, good luck.
Let's look at it this way. What made Star Wars Black Series more popular as a 6-inch Black Series versus 3 3/4? Because you can tell when you go to a store, the Black Series 6-inch sells.
Yeah,
3/4 is always
you got it. It's not. It's a lot to do with the following. It's also a lot to do with freshness. I mean, if you're collecting a 3 3/4-inch line for 30 years, eventually they're going to run out of characters to make, and then you're gonna need something new. It's like, think about it. I'll give you a perfect example. It's like my Joe collection. It's gotten to the point where I have basically everything, a few rare things, but it's collecting's like a disease for us. It's like you need something. You need something to collect. So it's like I go on eBay. I'm like, well, what do I want to start collecting? And I was like, I'll start collecting Ninja Turtles like a crazy person. So, but it's like that. So the Star Wars fans are going to need something to collect. So when you've made all the Boba Fett's you can, what do you do next? And I think if Marvel Legends weren't as popular and as successful, I don't think you're going to see a Star Wars Black Series. But look at when Marvel went to 3 3/4. It was something new and it was something fresh, and it took off. Company got greedy and said, "Hey, we're going to do 3 3/4 and 6-inch," and they cannibalized it and said it was basically saying, "Here we have 2 kids. Let's let them fight to the death and see who wins." And 6-inch won. I said, "All right, see you later. 3 3/4, 6-inch is the scale." But you see a lot of other companies do 6-inch. It's kind of popular. Bandai does that weird 5.5-inch scale, which is odd. But with Mattel doing 6-inch all the time, wrestling 6-inch, DC Comics is 6-inch. It just got to the point where 6-inch was the thing, so that when Star Wars came around and needed something new and fresh, it was like, all right, well, if they're not doing new movies, how can we do something new and fresh? Oh, we'll just give the same figures we've been doing for 30 years, put them in a new scale, give them more articulation, make them a bit more detailed, and see how that goes. And obviously it took off because, there's Marvel Legends fans, there's Star Wars Black Series fans, but there's also a crossover because look at Rick's room back there. It's, he's got Ghostbusters and He-Man and Star Wars and G.I. Joe. He's one of those people, he's okay with his food touching. I don't want my food to touch.
No, he's not a food toucher. He is not a food toucher.
But so people were like, oh, I can have Boba Fett standing next to Wolverine on my shelf, and that's going to be acceptable. And it was. And that's why I think a G.I. Joe 6-inch line would be successful, because you'd get your Joe fans, but then you'd get 6-inch fans. And that's something I'm pretty sure I could say it because it didn't go anywhere and I'm not there anymore. And it's not like it's anything secret, but I was pitching a 6-inch line when I was on the Joe brand, and it didn't go anywhere, but I was trying to pitch it in the sense that it's not just Joe fans you're going to get. You're going to get the crossover of Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe, which is why it's a no-brainer. Problem is, you keep letting years go by and you're losing it. Every year that goes by, every 6 months that goes by, you're losing Joe fans. And there's not many of us left, because it's gotten to the point where people are like, well, if they're not doing any more product, well, I need some extra money, I'll just sell all my Joe stuff. Or you just lose interest, or you start spending money on something else. And also the amount of Marvel Legends and Black Series they're putting out, they're cannibalizing their selves. So, I always said on Marvel Legends, they were putting out too much product. I looked at our marketing team and said, guys, we're making the fans spend too much money. Yeah, it's great, stuff is selling, but you can't push people. If you start pushing people, they're going to start picking and choosing. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I just went off on a tangent on that, but it's like, yes,
No.
It makes sense.
It's a no-brainer.
I think that, to Bobby's point too, and I kind of want to justify my own reaction to 6-inch. I'm not opposed to G.I. Joe being in a 6-inch scale. What I'm kind of opposed to is yet another rehash of a Real American Heroes era in 6-inch. One of the things about Sigma 6, and it was weird that they did that split scale where they tried the 2.5-inch plastic army men, and then they did Sigma 6 is what, 7.5, 8?
Oh yeah, about 7.5, 8-inch.
I love the bigger Sigma 6 figures. Those things they're rugged. You can give them to kids. Kids can play with them, beat the crap out of them, and for the most part, they're still intact. The split focus, which was what was weird for me, was you had all these cool vehicles, but you couldn't have the figures really interact with them because of the scale differential. So I think to Bobby's point, when he was talking about Marvel, they did 3 3/4, 4-inch Marvel Universe, which was, I loved that line because, like he said, I was a 3 3/4 collector. I could have Wolverine and Boba Fett and Snake Eyes and them all together in this crazy Cheers bar setting, and it was awesome. I think whatever Hasbro does, they need to pick one scale and commit to it whole hog, and that's it. And if it's 6 or 5 or 8 or 18-inch, then stick with one thing and be consistent on your brand. Give it a fair shot.
Well, 6s, if you notice what Hasbro's been putting out, like I worked on all the Avengers figures for Infinity War and for Avengers 4, and all the kid product, the kid line, are 6-inch figures with 5 points of articulation. Mm-hmm. So even our kid focus line went to 6-inch because 6-inch was selling better. Now, the reason it sells better, just to give you guys some kind of trade info here, is to tool a 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe figure and to tool a 6-inch Legends figure is almost the same, which is crazy to think that way. But tooling goes by parts, and only a little bit has to do with plastic weight. So all these parts in a 3 3/4-inch figure are comparable to all these parts in a 6-inch figure. So why not do a 6-inch figure? So that's why you see everyone moving to 6-inch, because it's more profitable. You're spending pretty much the same amount of money. Where if I'm spending, say, $50,000 to tool a 3 3/4-inch figure, and I'm trying to sell it for $10 or $15, but I can tool a 6-inch figure at the same amount of money for $20, $25. Your profit's greater. So it makes sense business-wise and engineering-wise to do a 6-inch figure. So I've been meaning to look at what the articulated icons guys are doing. I think their stuff is out, but I saw that they were just doing ninjas. But I like that they went 6-inch. I think what everyone's doing 3 3/4 wise, like John and Boss Fight Guys and Marauders, is great, because everyone's kind of keeping to their own niche and their own genre, and it's selling well, and it's being successful. But those articulated icons, guys, it's good to see someone going to 6-inch. You know, I don't know, maybe down the road, someone who used to work at Hasbro might end up doing a 6-inch line that'll be successful. Who knows?
Can I expand? I want to expand on the 6-inch thing too, the whole phenomenon, and how in my opinion, like some of the other things that factored into why is it successful and how could it be successful. For me, I was on the ground floor of Sideshow before it had the Star Wars license, and I was really into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was a brand that I loved, and I bought some of the Buffy the Vampire stuff. They had the license to that, and the Universal Monsters way before Star Wars. So when Star Wars happened, obviously I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I was like, yes, it's going to be awesome. And I had to say goodbye to the smaller licenses because I knew they were going to concentrate. So it was good and bad. But what I saw happen was, and I remember Luke Jedi was the first one they put out. By today's standard, it sucks, right? I mean, they've come a long way since the early 2000s. But what I saw in the collectors, especially the I would say like medium tier collectors that are putting a little bit more money in, and the upper tier that are spending all their, the direct depositing their paychecks like I do sometimes. What I saw was Sideshow was giving you extra hands. They were giving you the things that we expect nowadays, a lightsaber that's, expanded and one that you can put on your waist, and all the little details. And they were doing it in a way that they could get a little bit better sculpt. Bigger you go, the better the sculpt you can get out of the figures. So what I kept seeing was people were like, wow, everybody that I showed, because at the time they weren't advertising at all. And to this day, they rarely advertise a whole lot. Everybody I showed was like, wow, they're really awesome. And at the time, I think Luke, when he launched, was 100. Nowadays, it's way more than that, right? But when they first had the license, he was about 100 and sold out in like 6 minutes. They kept low numbers. But the impact that I was seeing on people's faces when they saw it, and when I had one in hand and I could bring it into work and I showed the other 30-somethings, that this existed, their faces were like kids. They couldn't believe it. So when the 6-inch Marvel Legends came out and they were talking about, we're going to do a mixture of soft goods, the sculpts are going to be a little bit better because it's bigger, here's some extra hands. I was seeing how someone had decided to decipher between the 1/6 scale and the 3 3/4 scale. Someone had found this perfect price point at around $20 to give you some of the things that you were getting from the 1/6 market without losing all of the things that you were getting from the 3 3/4 market. And to this day, Marvel Legends still around that $20. I can't lie, of all the things that I buy, it's the best deal. And you don't have to sacrifice. Now, I'm not saying every release is perfect. But some of those figures, like I'm looking at like easy examples, like the Green Goblin, right? Hobgoblin. The scales on the costume, the details on the face. Sometimes they're giving you 2 heads, one specific to an artist that's done the Spidey books. For $20, and he's super articulate. I can put him on his glider. Even the Spider-Man, for the most part, they're a great deal, and the figure has great articulation, so you can pose them. And sometimes you even get the mixture with the Black Series, like the soft goods that work. They're figuring out these things. So for me, being a G.I. Joe fan, even if we just got one where I could see like how it worked, if the Snake Eyes movie came out and they were to do an SDCC, just a 6-inch Snake Eyes from the movie, I'd like to just see what it looked like and how it worked. It doesn't matter that I love the 3 3/4 vintage and modern. It does that. That's cool, right? I just want to hold one and see how it works. I know how much I like the Marvel Legends and the Black Series. And for me, I'm like, wow, it'd be really cool to, without having to go custom, to have a figure and see how much I like it, see what it looks good. For me, the 6-inch looks better on a shelf. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about, for me, my favorite thing about G.I. Joe is the vehicles. And I've got a lot of the vehicles that I love already. And there's a few that I still want. So I'm still collecting it. I love it. That's why I love G.I. Joe. This 6-inch thing, the 6-inch thing is a completely different fantasy for me. It's trying to see what a modern Joe might look like if it were in the same realm, like Bobby was talking about with Marvel Legends. I don't need to play with them. My food touching thing, I don't like to play with stuff together, but I don't mind looking at it all together.
Tell you what, the next time we get together, I'm going to mash all your food up. I swear
No,
to God.
sir.
Hey,
Oh,
Rick.
You
Rick
guys
is
will have to excuse me real quick. Rick's saying 6-inch snake eyes gave me PTSD of being on his tank, and Fran sharing a news article that was right around the corner, and yeah, that was a good time. The troll wars. Yeah, I'll be right back. I got something fun to show you guys, so I'm gonna go grab it.
Hey Rick, I was just gonna point out too when because I was collecting Marvel Legends when they first came out from Toyz, and I remember ordering a set of them from Canada because they hadn't hit the US yet, and I had to get that first assortment.
Yeah.
When they finally hit KB, no joke, they were $6.99 each. They came with a base and a comic, so that just shows you how much things have. Now, granted, the sculpts were softer, the articulation was clunkier, and God, that first Hulk with the rubber hands was kind of an atrocity. But it really shows the evolution of even Marvel Legends within the marketplace. That around 2000, 2001, maybe. I think because I was working for Ring of Collectors back then, reviewing them. They were $6-7. Now we're, and I mean, that's been 15, 16 years. Now we're looking at 20, 25 on them. So, but they come with, like you said, extra hands now, extra heads. They didn't build a figure piece versus a reprint comic and a base that honestly, after a while, you were like, what the hell am I going to do with this? And you'd chuck it,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Rick is definitely spot on with Marvel Legends being kind of the best offering. It's like, that you get the Build-A-Figure, so you get more in the offering. It's like Star Wars doesn't do a Build-A-Figure because they say because they do more deco and soft goods and things like that. But, look at the Masters Universe figures. They're $30 and above. Anything else that anyone's putting out that's 6 inches is so much more expensive. So it's great that for $20 you can get, a Marvel Legends figure and then, buy a wave and then make this awesome Build-A-Figure, it's a great offering. I'm not saying that because I was working on the brand, but it was great. The sad thing is that the thing I'm upset about with G.I. Joe is Marvel, you're paying a licensor. So there's that licensor fee. There's that percentage that's coming out of your cost. They own G.I. Joe. You don't have to pay a damn thing. Do you realize what I would have been able to give you guys at a 6-inch scale with a G.I. Joe line? If Rick is saying, shit, at $20, I love what Marvel Legends is giving me. Listen, I would have made Marvel Legends look really, really bad. Really bad. So probably better off they're not doing a 6-inch Joe line. If someone does a 6-inch line on their own, I'm telling you right now, it's still going to make Marvel Legends look bad. You're welcome.
Let's do it.
Rick, do you remember Plan B Toys from back in the day?
What'd they do? What
they did? Oh God, I can't even remember the name of it. It was out when, and we're talking the era of the first X-Men movie figures from Toy Biz, early Marvel Legends. They did a series of modern military figures, and they weren't ball jointed hips, but they were ball jointed uppers, so they were fairly comparable to Legends of that era. And they came with a ton of gear. They came with MP5s, pistols with removable silencers, holsters and all that. If you ever track these down, I can't think what they were called right now, and I'll have to look it up. But I remember back then, people were buying these to go with their early Legends figure, because this way, Wolverine could be surrounded by a bunch of ugly looking troopers, with military gear or something. So those were pretty awesome. But again, this was 2000, 2001, everything was cheaper back then. You could get a bunch of them for $10 a pop and you could build a small squad. Now you would do half as many for twice the fun, but that's just the economy in general.
Yeah. The 6-inch thing to me didn't just occur because, I get Black Series and Marvel. I cherry pick Marvel Legends. I look at some of the first time I thought about it, it was during the Pursuit of Cobra. And when you pick up a Pursuit of Cobra figure, they come with so much stuff. And you can't help, if you're a 6-inch collector at all, you can't help but think, well, what would this figure be if it could be 6 inches? And my little And I don't really have sausage fingers, but I mean, some of those little pieces, like low light. Some of the guys, Firefly. Some of the guys you get, some of the pieces are so small, and I'm like, wow, if I could just get a double jointed Marvel Legend buck, but have like characters that I freaking love, like Ambush or Lowlight or Firefly. Those Zartan. Like those things excite me because I haven't had that experience. Now I have the Sideshow. I'm looking at some of the Sideshow offerings that they did, and I did like the ones that they did. I don't have all of them, but I have a lot of them. But I haven't had that 6-inch experience yet. I do want it. Like I'm craving it.
Is anybody else, by the way, reverting to being like 7 years old and when they hear things like 6-inch experience?
Yep, and how he wants it badly. Yes.
Yeah, and he's craving it, and there's just so much of this.
Just giggling on the inside, and I don't want to be a child.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rick, you're a good guy. Oh, but you know what, guys? While there's a pause real quick, I want to show you something since we're talking about action figures. First of all, let me apologize for the shoddy lighting in the background here. I'm in our breakfast nook. My firstborn is going to be here in about 16 more days. So my toy dad.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of played that one close to the chest, so apologies for springing on the show here. But
good luck. Good luck.
That's awesome, dude.
Thanks, guys. But Fungal, if I could learn
And
how
then
to
in 17 days, we never heard from him again.
Well, it's not like I ever show up on time and do anything with the community anyway. So
kind of like me.
But now that said, you guys know all about Eagle Force and all that jazz. What the fuck am I doing? The Eagle Force Riot Trooper is
awesome, dude.
Dude, he I gotta tell you, the articulation is ridiculous. Double ankle, all this wet crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Sharp looking figure, man. Now, if we can get the rest of them, that'd be pretty golden. But after getting this guy in hand, I'm actually kind of pleased, and I hope to take some pictures and give you guys a proper review soon. But if I had to gripe about anything, the accessories, the weapons are a little gummy, but of course that's just a production sample. So I'm sure it'll, whatever. Plus being in the Florida Zanus here, no plastic stays too, strong for too long. So yeah, but a neat figure. So it still bums me out that I couldn't have my Eagle Force alongside my G.I. Joe. I wanted to relive that early 80s block of my life with, Star Wars, Eagle Force, G.I. Joe, He-Man, all these things. And damn it. It is what it is. I'm sure, My Little Pony and fucking, pardon my language again, guys.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I said like 10 of them last week or the week before.
And this crushes Mike's dream of ever monetizing the channel.
Well, I'm telling you, all he has to do is start doing cam shows with that toe, and that's money in the just venisonjerky.com. I'll go on GoDaddy right now.
Yo toe.
Just another toe show.
Oh shit.
Yeah, good call, Fred.
That's all I'm gonna do is put up the hypno shield for a moment to make me forget that was ever said.
Mike, which toe was it?
Do what?
Which toe was it?
My right foot, the toe right next to my big toe.
Wow, so you got a big gap between your big toe and the rest of your toes?
Well, he didn't take the whole toe. He took about 2/3 of it, maybe.
Still,
so there's a nub there,
dude. But now you can wear those like ninja slippers with ease.
So, and you could cosplay as Nightcrawler, and it'd be cool too.
Heck yeah!
Thinking, that's like a third hand, dude. You got an opposable thumb now.
Heck yeah!
Welcome to just another G.I. Toe show.
Yeah, the silver lining.
Exactly right.
Yeah, it's
he's gonna be like that meme holding a tea glass with his foot, looking at us all silly.
God.
Mike, I'm sorry we're so mean to you, but not really.
It's out of love. It's out of love.
Yeah, maybe.
Mostly.
And then, of course, I said I had the toe removed. Then I had the teeth worked on, so I can't really eat nothing. So it makes it,
you can drink, right? You can drink.
Yeah, drink my worries away. But let's say.
What are you doing, dude?
Who, me?
Yeah, it just sounds like crashing and and Breaking Bad extra scenes back there.
It's just listening to y'all rant about my toe. I'm just here throwing shit all over the goddamn place.
He's trying to learn how to walk again on his new opposable thumb.
But tell you, I promise you, I am walking with a limp. Well, see, actually, your wife had asked me. She was like, "They sent you home." I'm like, "Yeah, it was an outpatient surgery. They wrapped that son of a bitch up and sent me on my way."
Tell me you didn't keep it, and you're not wearing it around like a necklace right now.
No, I wanted to.
Yeah, I already guessed.
They said they're not allowed. You're not allowed to have body parts that are removed because they have to send them off to.
That sucks.
Yeah, but it's your part. You grew it.
I know. But they send it off to pathology to do tests on it, and then they send it off to be cremated with
To
other.
go to Purina.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's probably going to a little boy who needs a toe in that one area. So
I was going to say it's going to, was it Walmart or the Old Yeller dog food that I saw recently?
Oh, God. That went dark real quick.
That's not inappropriately named. Hey, kids, give your dog the same food as Old Yeller.
Oh, hold on. Hey, Fred, have you seen the picture?
Oh, God, don't show it to me again. No.
I'll see you a text message.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, send it live.
No.
You think you do, Bobby, but you
No, I
don't.
want to see it.
While we're on the topic of things finding their way back to life, so this portfolio of artwork from IDW that's coming out in, I believe, February, but got announced for January, is it confirmed that that's the same portfolio set that was given out at HasCon in 2017? Does anybody know by chance? It's 10 pieces of original packaging.
I know Daryl was working with them when they put that HasCon thing together, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Bobby, was that your text message?
Ooh, I just got it. Let me see.
Oh.
Prepare.
Oh, you can't unsee it, that's for sure.
You'll never look at a Vienna sausage the same way again.
It looks like venison jerky.
Hey, if y'all want, I got a picture of my old cap they took out on that. I can send you a picture of that.
No, man, you know what? I love you.
I'm good.
More
I'm
pictures.
good. Perfect.
See, I posted it in our Twitter chat, and everyone got to see it all at one time. It was like,
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I know what Bobby's getting for Christmas.
Right.
Like Toyz.
You don't send unsolicited toe pics to people.
What part is the top and what's the bottom?
You know, if you plant that in the ground, another mic will actually grow from it. It's kind of crazy. It's like Groot.
You know, it's funny, Fred. You said about like wearing it around his neck. He posted something on like Instagram about like him going into surgery looking for like you know like some tears of whatever for him.
no, not really, but okay,
Like,
go with that.
Chris McLeod's wife like put like a sad face and stuff like that, and I was like the lone asshole. Will they let you keep it and wear it around your neck?
He was.
Dude, what's funny is I felt like a real schmuck clicking the little heart on your comment. But then when I realized that there was already 4 people before me that had already done it, it was like, all right, it's safe. I'm in.
The most likes I've ever gotten before was for that comment.
That's so sad.
Some people wear a St. Christopher. Some people wear a cross. Mike wears his own damn toe.
St. Mikey.
They didn't let me keep my wisdom teeth when I got my wisdom teeth out either, and I was like, they're mine. They're mine.
Oh, I got to keep mine.
They're mine, and I'm paying you to do the surgery, so why don't I get it to keep them? That was my biggest beef with it.
Huh.
So it was creepy. My dentist clearly and straightforwardly told me that, oh, wow, look at the root on that. This is going in my jar.
Okay, Dr. Giggles. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like, do I call you like, what was dude's name from Platoon? Something Mama?
Oh, yeah.
Like, no way, man.
Eric, to get back to your point about that portfolio, though, I think
yes,
it's
sir.
the same number of pieces. I think it's the same number of prints as the HasCon one, because I was really close to buying one at JoeCon only because Gung Ho and the headquarters were in there, and I'm a sucker for both of those.
Yep, and
now I'm tempted just to snag this one, and even if it's the same piece, I wonder if they'll do something subtly different to it, like maybe there's they put a mark, like equivalent of a watermark in the corner or something.
Hey, Fred, do you need a HasCon set?
I wouldn't say no.
All right. I know a guy.
You and I'll talk after.
All
Just
right.
get him a toe, dude. Just get him a toe, and he has what you need.
Hey, Mike, how do you feel about going down to 8? I'm just asking for a friend.
Take one for a
You
team.
gotta
Huh?
even him out, dude.
He's got a balance.
Gotta be able to walk straight.
Hey, Mike, for my new toy line that I'm gonna do one day, I'm gonna have a character, and he's gonna be a dude that has like toes around his neck, like of all the dudes he's killed, and it's gonna be for you, bud.
Heck yeah.
Mikey Nine Toes. It's like you've got a gangsta name now.
As long as can you
It's
call
kind
him?
of like, hey, it's like Harlem Nights.
Yeah.
Stop my damn toe. That's
Make-
the story I can go with.
Go comical with him and call him Toe Jam, please.
Oh, God.
Oh. I'm gonna send Mike a jar of Smuckers. I'm gonna redo the label so it just says Jam. Sweet Jesus. Okay.
We've gone extra deep with the toe stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know y'all
Much-
really
much-
y'all went,
Much deeper than I expected.
y'all went
While I
crazy and
have
crazy,
all
man.
you guys, and I'm actually talking shop with you. I have a question for you. I got to look up the name for it, and I'm just a piece of crap because it's actually in my pre-order list, and I don't know what the hell the name of the toy that is I'm buying. But it's the Transformer G.I. Joe crossover that looks like you know what? I'm pulling a mic and I can't remember anyone's names. But no, it looks like Don's artwork of the Rolling Thunder.
Oh.
Here, I'm going into my pre-order list so I could grab the darn name of it.
Real quick, Mike. I can't pronounce. Y'all know I can't pronounce nothing. What's Mike's last name? Fred. The Brook Show.
Bro?
No,
Breaux. That's bro.
really?
Yeah, it's French.
French.
Oh, there ain't no O in there. He says, I tune in, I hear toe talk. What the hell kind of show is this?
Just another G.I. Joe show brought to you tonight by the American Podiatry Institute.
Well, Mike exhausted all of his ranting about the club, so we have to talk about his toe, I guess.
Well,
I
no,
didn't really rant. Since Fred's here, he could tell us what he thinks about the having to wait every 2 weeks to get a figure in. Instead of
I
getting all
don't
15
have a
one-
problem with that because since I've been less than employed recently, I've actually been catching up on my backlog of reviews. So I like having a little downtime between them.
no, it's kind of silly. You have them all in hand. You have them all in hand. Don't bamboozle me with the $37.95 that you're going to charge me to ship it third world post on a donkey's back to my house. Look, I'm a man. Give me my licks like a man. Charge me $150 to throw them all in a box and ship them first class or whatever you want to do. Let's get it out of the way. I know you're going to come at me. You're going to charge me $1 per piece of bubble wrap. Let's do it. Let's get it out of the way. Whatever you need to charge me, I'll pay you. Just give me my stuff.
Hey, $1 for the wrap.
That's funny.
Actually, though, that is kind of funny that you bring that up because I think that they're shipping the final 12 all at once. So just ship FSS. Oh God, I'm gonna be so glad when I don't have to say FSS and then a number.
Yeah.
But just ship it all in one big box. Give you the all-in-one option. You get this Mondo thing. It costs you, like you said,
Right.
your firstborn to ship it. Well, your firstborn and a toe, and then you've got this box full of stuff.
Right. Because look, man, I get it. And don't get me wrong, the fun of opening something new every few weeks, sure, you're going to lose that. But it's also the end of the year. It's also there's just so much going on that now you have to be more coherent towards the new year and making sure that you're paying attention to packages. Look, dude, I love you. You're ganking me at $96 a pair. Look, help me help you. I'm going to help you get that shit out of your warehouse, out of your living room, wherever you're storing this jazz. I want to help you. I know that there's so many Tommy Bahama crisp shorts that are going to go on sale here.
Oh,
you, my dude.
damn!
Let me help you.
I don't need to rant tonight at all.
Wow.
And I got it off my chest. Look, I'm just saying, I'd be more than happy to pay whatever it is to get the stuff here when it gets here. The whole jazz of we got to wait and do it this way, that way, the other way, it's going to negatively impact you in the long run. It's going to be you and one other person shipping them out. Wacky hijinks is going to ensue, and there's going to be someone along the line that's going to go on a board somewhere and just bitch and bitch and bitch.
Wow.
This
Do that anyway.
exactly eliminates half of that awful scenario that is just creeping right around the corner.
I think the weirdest thing for me, and I guess we're going into club territory, and I don't want to turn it into let's just crap on the
No,
club
no, no, no,
forever tonight, but I think the thing that gets me, and I was fortunate enough to be on an episode of What's on Joe Mind recently as a guest host, and we talked about that. It's the optics of how the communication is coming through with, kind of fear marketing. I get it. This is probably the last ditch effort for, this kind of figure. You notice I haven't opened him because he's an Arctic figure, but I kind of feel like the whole, hey, this is G.I. Joe's going away forever. You're never going to see it again. As Bobby has said, and Hasbro, and I still believe this, Hasbro is going to do something with G.I. Joe at some point in the future because they own it. So they don't pay licensing, they own it. Whether it's maybe it's this current, administration and upper tier echelon is all gone. Maybe it's 10 years from now, and some plucky brand manager is going through the catalog of IPs they own because they need to put out something and, blows the dust off of something that says G.I. Joe. But they're going to do something with it again. So I hate the fear mongering. I mean, look, from a marketing standpoint, I get it. I've done that kind of crap. I feel shady as crap doing it. So I hate it when I see it being done, but it is what it is.
Right.
To switch gears a little bit, I know the sale's over. How many of you picked up or already owned Carson's book series, collecting the art of G.I. Joe from 3D Joe's?
That's a lot of
got all those. Yeah.
All of them, and have been I maybe shouldn't say that. I've been all in on
at that sale at 50% off was probably one of the best bargains I've seen for G.I. Joe related product all year. Second, and I'd say the other one is Mark Belomo's book that just came out, because, and that's my other thing. I've got it sitting up here actually because I've got to do a review for it. But
I'm still waiting on it. It was backordered, I think.
This is everything I wanted from the previous versions because it's hardcover. And I have my soft cover up there. And, I'm one of those people when I open a book, I don't want to crack the spine if it's paperback. I'm that anal guy. And having this in hardcover is like a freaking dream come true.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that. I think it's scheduled sometime in the next week or so.
I actually sent an email to Carson asking for my partial refund on that, the 50% off, but I haven't heard back from him yet. So I'm a little concerned that he didn't get my email.
Yeah,
probably not.
He'll send it to you with the toe, Mike.
Yep.
Hey, he actually he posted a picture either today or yesterday. His damn vehicle was just packed out. He sold quite a bit of that. Good for him.
The other day when I talked to him, I think he said he was down to like 30 sets left, and there were still, that was before it ended. So I was crazy happy to hear that he blew through that, because it's like, judging by the hands raised here tonight, I think it's something that quite honestly everybody should own. I mean, G.I. Joe back in the day killed it in packaging. And it's awesome to see. I was always surprised Hasbro never did anything like that. Personally, this isn't a Hasbro.
Are you really surprised?
Okay. This goes back to like 2000, Neil Hoffman era, when the brand was really on an upswing. Because it was kind of like they were ramping up. They were doing kid stuff. It was coming back, and I was always shocked that they never did anything with it. But now, no, absolutely not.
Yeah,
it's kind of a shame, but
like just knowing that right where your sexy G.I. Joe figures are, there's something called the craps, and it comes with 19 figures and a motorcycle for $1.95. You don't like that toss up in the toy aisle? I love taking a toy out and immediately getting lead cancer. Like, it's phenomenal. It's just awesome. It makes me live up to Mike's standards. Just losing limbs in the aisle is 7C there. It's golden.
Hey, Fred, did you get your book from Brian I can't pronounce his last name.
No,
Shearer?
sir, Shearer, not as of yet. But I opted for the 11x17 drawing and all that jazz, so I'm at the tail end of that list. I have the habit of getting in on Kickstarters and then, shopping with money I don't have and getting something that causes me to wait, a good quarter of a century to finally get it in hand. What can you do? It's supporting the community and all that jazz, so it is what it is.
What about you, Fred? Did you order his book?
What are we talking about here?
The Art of Brian Shearer, Volume 1.
I am really sad to say I missed that one.
Did you know we had him on the show back in April?
It was one of those things where I went like literally 36 hours later and went, "Oh, son of a bitch!"
Yeah. I actually got mine yesterday in the mail. I've been waiting, and I saw the updates, and I'm kind of like, I haven't gotten mine yet. I said, let me make sure I actually did this, and yeah, I did do it. So, and then the next day it was there on the porch. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. How do you like it so far?
It's really good. On the you got to pick a character doing the, he drew in the back, and he did zombie Destro for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whoa! How does that even work?
You got his eyeball hanging out. You got his head split open in the middle.
I was going to say, because he's like in a metal mask, so his face should look pretty good. It's just the rest of him that looks like crap. It's kind of odd. I never thought about Zombie Destro. Huh.
I wanted to come up with something, different. Nothing like losing a toe, of course, but.
You mentioned Kickstarters. Fred, did you hear word came from our friends over at Animal Warriors of the King, or Spiro Toyz actually, about Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, that the remaining stock of Wave 1 items that were missing in action from people's orders won't be out before November. They got lumped in with their Series 2 offerings and aren't getting produced until then. So either by the end of the year or the beginning of next. So again, I'm
extra weapons heads.
Extra weapons heads. I'm for those of us that are waiting, it's the play set. If you got it on the play set, the swag pack that included like the t-shirts, water bottles, all that happy, fun marketing stuff.
The stuff that you're kind of like, this is nice, but
yeah. So it was kind of a bummer, but it's to be expected, man. They have to look at the positive. They got that full line out and were able to restock without problem before getting hit with the typical factory jazz, So it is what it is. It's just a part of the game.
Speaking of Kickstarters, Marauder stuff, like crazy soon.
Yeah, real soon. I'm super excited about that.
Like some people on one of the Facebook groups, they're kind of, look, it's a Kickstarter, man. It's not like a Hasbro produced thing where you have a corporation behind you. It's a lot smaller. And somebody was like, well, all I want for Christmas is my Marauder Kickstarter stuff. I'm like, dude, patience.
Right.
Like, you're going to get some good Marauder stuff's always good because this is what the contract ops are in there, the agency ops, freaking dogs, power armor. It's like this cornucopia of stuff that would have blown my mind when I was 7 years old.
See, but we live in such an on-demand society now that waiting for anything is actually just unheard of.
Yeah.
I need J-hooks from Amazon. They better be here tomorrow because God forbid I don't hang up that painting. But it's just the same attitude towards Kickstarters. And it's like, guys, you did know what you were getting yourself into, right? Like it was clearly presented to you up front. If you watch the way that ebb and flow works, I mean, how many are we still waiting on? You have Eagle Force, you have Hell Screamers, the remainder of the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom stuff. You have the Larry Hama figure. You have, just a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of books, all that jazz. So it's the nature of the beast. I mean, look at all the, sorry to throw the conversation down that route, but look at the bootleg figures. You look at the red lasers and the Latals and all that jazz. They're all waiting on stuff to be painted. You look at for instance, the Destroyer, the He-Man Destro crossover. You and I are still waiting on that one to come across. Game,
Yep. We're supposed to get one back. What was it, September? And it's gotten pushed back.
Yeah, September. The gentleman from Pop Prolific said it would be November. I had reached out to him a couple of times through email and didn't hear a word back, but I guess it could be iCloud. That email kind of is janky sometimes. So I reached out to Hammer of the Gods, and he was super cool and super responsive, and he got back almost immediately to say that they were being shipped out in the next week or so. So that should be hopefully.
And that was the only figure I wanted from that line was that Destro or Destroyer, as they called him.
Yeah.
So I got a weird question for the panel here tonight. This is presumably, Mike, this is the last show of 2018, correct?
Yes, it is.
So the ball's going to drop at the end. Mike's going to come out in his diaper and say, "Hey, happy New Year." But for each of you, this has been an interesting year for Joe and Joe-related items. What's your number one thing your number one released in 2018 Joe item that you've acquired this year? And I'll start with Bobby on the left and work our way over.
Yeah.
Just turn around, Bobby.
That came out in 2018.
Yeah, I'm looking for something that actually like you were able to buy for the first time in 2018.
Oh, okay.
Shit, I'm looking around my room. Well, it's really only club stuff that came out.
It doesn't have to be officially licensed either. It could be fan produced.
Oh, that would be John's stuff.
Yeah, skip me and go to someone else for now.
Eric, you're up.
Like one figure or like
any
more?
Joe-related item. Like here, I'll tell you what. I'll go first. To kind of set the. For me, it would be it's a tie between getting Carson's slip. Well, actually, wait, because SDCC that was last year, so it'd be Carson's slipcase. The collecting the complete art, getting that series completed this year was probably my number one, and Mark's Ultimate Guide was probably number two. An honorable mention goes to Crystal Ball because I can't believe how much I love this thing. So, Rick, how about you?
The figure that I've messed with the most is that Major Blood out of the box set from JoeCon. I really like it. I mean, once they got the mustache stuff straight, and I knew it would be awesome, but I've messed with that one probably the most, and he's kind of front and center on that shelf for this year's convention. So I'd say that particular figure. I like the color palette a lot. Other than him, what else this year? For me, I'm still a comic book fan. Like I enjoy everything they've been doing on the comic. That's something like having a little bit of fiction is better than no fiction. So
okay.
I enjoy the comic, and I try to push. I try to push comics to people too, because whenever I can, just because I know a lot of people have just stopped reading, and it's easy to watch our YouTube shows and watch movies, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe is great and all that, but I still try to push comics. I like comics, and a lot of my love of everything in this room came from reading comics as a kid.
How about you, Eric?
See, man, while hearing you other guys talk about it, I'd have to stick with you, Fred. It's a toss-up for me. One's definitely getting Mark's latest book, for sure. But the 8-year-old troop builder in me, those Latal Iron Grenadier reproductions. I'm an Iron Grenadiers junkie. There's not an item out there that exists with that damn logo on it that I don't have or that I didn't make myself or something. So the opportunity to just get Iron Grenadiers in different colors that were quote-unquote factory made was just awesome to me. It sucks that I couldn't get them officially, but the fact that I was able to get something on the market and bring back that O-ring kind of fun in the house here, has been top shelf.
Cool. All right, Mr. Vala, you're up.
Okay, so I've decided that it's not the best item that I got in 2018 or that came out in 2018, but it was the most impactful for me, as it was it taught me a lesson. Was the FSS General Hawk. And if you all don't know, that's the figure that I screwed up royally. And after it all happened, I'm still kind of humbled by it all, because, I'm still bummed about it that I did that. And I see it all the time, and I'm like, man, I cannot believe I screwed up on that figure so badly. And it kind of taught me, like, listen, as good or as experienced as you can be, you cannot overlook any detail. You have to just when you're creating something, always make sure that you triple check it, make sure it's spot on. So now every time I work on something, I kind of think about that, like, oh well, let me make sure that this is spot on and this is the way it should be, because I don't want anyone to be disappointed, or I don't want anything to come out looking like it shouldn't. So that to me is the most impactful item of 2018 because of the lesson that it taught me, for sure.
Very cool. Is Mike even still here?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Mike
Alright,
is
Mike.
painting his toe in the colors of that hawk as a
He's put, the,
Hashtag
he's
thanks,
put the
Bob.
helmet on it. He's flying it around. Mike, what's your favorite G.I. Joe related new item this year?
It would have to be, you're going to find this funny. It's going to be the Animal Kingdom Kitty Force mascot I got.
That's not G.I. Joe.
It's in the scale of G.I. Joe.
Oh,
Stop it.
It would have to be, well, it was really that. I actually like that figure a lot. But really, it's a real toss up between the Python Patrol that we got this year, just the Python, not the Marauders, but the Python. And I'd gotten the tank from Roman Collectibles, which was limited to was it 9 or 10? I think that was it.
yeah.
So having that customized tank is a pretty cool thing to have.
Yeah.
And even though it is, not correct, it would be that hawk from the figure subscription service, which I've stated on more than one occasion that.
Mike, go like this, buddy.
Yeah, the hawk and the Cobra Commander was the only reason why I even got
I didn't have a problem. I honestly, I was in the other camp too. I never understood all of the. I mean, I can understand it based on the conversations now, but at the time, I'm like, "What's wrong with this hawk?" It's all. I had him on a flight stand taking pictures, and I had a ton of people that liked.
Yeah,
the
dude, it was awesome. I always look before the whole hoopla started. It was like, "Oh shit, cool! We got a fun school hawk. That's actually pretty neat. Like, it matches up with windmill. Like, we're getting these international variants." But then, to God's honest truth, it was like, damn it, though, man, I didn't want a fun school hawk. I wanted a regular hawk. But then hearing all the sauciness in the community of like holy shit, you guys, I promise you, it's an action figure. Like, just put it down. It's gonna be all right. Like, just walk away, breathe.
It's gonna be okay.
I gotta say, on Rick's Instagram, his photos of that, like the day because I got it and I wasn't able to open it for a little bit, and I'm like, damn, because I wanted to take package photos first. I jump on Instagram and there's freaking Rick.
He beats everybody, man.
Got him in like these killer poses,
Dude, that's how I play.
Did a great job with those pictures.
That's my playtime. Yes, that's my playtime.
Holy crap! Like this figure, even with the whole color issue that whatever, he looks badass.
Yeah, he does.
Like you had a picture of him, like I think holding the helmet under one hand and all that. And I'm like, man, this is like straight up Adam Strange Pulp era awesomeness. I'm like, I love these photos.
Yeah, Rick gets him like in walking poses and everything else. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, and Rick also.
The funny thing is, I don't like it's funny because like at my job, like I will direct photo shoots, but when I do it at home, it's my iPhone and one LED light and my damn table in the kitchen. Like when I come home, I leave all my like work shit and even my design process. I leave it all, and when I come home, I like play with it and just take a few pictures that I like.
It's funny you should mention that.
Your down and dirty shoots are better than ones that people have done with like hardcore gear. I
like the iPhone, and I like that. I will say this: 3 3/4 scale, and even Lego. Like the smaller the figure, the more fun it is to get in and take like pictures. I love the scale; it's a lot of fun. Did you enjoy the Super Trooper? I never owned a Super Trooper.
That set was
I did a vintage review of Super Trooper back in the day. It was during the hiatus period, when G.I. Joe had gone away for a little bit and Sigma 6 was coming, and I don't know why I started doing vintage reviews. Of course, like JBL, so I never finish anything. But I had never owned a Super Trooper, and I'm like, that figure is freaking magical. I don't know what it is. Like all the chrome and
I watch the commercial.
Crazy.
I love watching the old commercials, and I do it like way often, a lot more than I probably should. But
Yeah.
I watch the commercial like 2 or 3 times in a row, and I'm like, man, I got to take a few pictures of this one. I haven't been taking as many pictures lately. Just kids, a lot of kid stuff going on, and you kind of lose track.
Did
No,
you
Rick,
see
you're a bad influence, dude, because I had no effing intention of buying, like, yet another Super Trooper after all this time. And I see your pictures. It's like, all right, eBay. Hey, eBay. Spend. Let me go buy a mint and bag sample that I'm getting bamboozled on because I'm paying 85 freaking bucks for a Super Trooper. What am I doing? But yeah, then I'm like, you know what? I'm never looking at Rick's Instagram again because he's the catalyst of fucking just poor things. The minute say I'm not going to do it, I open Instagram and there's Rick with Siege of Cybertron. It's like, are you kidding me?
Oh, dude, don't even.
That toy store to start pre-ordering that shit too. Thanks, Rick.
And that's Shattered Glass Jazz on Instagram, folks. Shattered Glass Jazz. If you'd like to ignite the magic of Christmas this year.
And speaking of Super Trooper, did you guys ever see the custom? I think it was Marauder Rubin did.
Oh yeah,
the Chrono Ops pieces, the chromed, and he did a Marauder Task Force version of Super Trooper, and I'm like,
oh yeah, I think I did.
Damn it, Club! Where was this figure? I'd have bought the hell out of that.
Could you imagine if we would have gotten something like that, a mail away like that, kind of like we got Doc?
You know what? That I know it's weird, but I'm thinking like, and I know it would never happen, but I'm just thinking like, that's the kind of stuff that would have made it cool, like a Comic-Con exclusive item.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Freaking random ass Super Trooper, or as Bobby said, the mail away version of Duke and Cobra Commander that time.
That would have been awesome.
Can you imagine a little diorama and you've got like the wooden crates and stuff in some kind of plain Jane office building. There's 3 Iron Grenadiers just kind of being blasted back and his ass in the front. Yeah, dude, I would buy that diorama and it has a box set and a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And you're troop building Iron Grenadiers. So,
Yeah, it works perfect. That's just fine by me, buddy.
I wanted to point out real quick how Rick had mentioned how he did all his pictures in his kitchen. Tell all of these guys have heard the story. Maybe Fred has, but tell the story about when you got the Defiant.
Oh, yeah. So I'm a stickler for when I buy any vehicle. I clean it, and make sure if it's not new, I'm cleaning it with like 100 Q-tips and soap water, magic erasers when I can. Just depends on the vehicle. I got all kinds of tricks. Baby oil, all kinds of things. It's crazy. So that's
whoa, we're still talking about toys here. I'm just asking.
Oh yeah, still G.I. Joe toys, Fred.
Yep, the Turkish bathhouse playset.
So, I had been wanting that Defiant it was my grail. So the Defiant comes in. I've seen pictures, but I'd never handled it. I'd even seen one in person. Hadn't handled it. Hadn't thought about how many pieces was in it. It comes in, and it needed some cleaning, but it was in perfect shape. And I'm like, I'm putting the time in. So for 7 days straight, I took over the entire kitchen and cleaned that thing from head to toe. And my wife was like, my wife's very forgiving, and she, doesn't mind the hobby and the 2 rooms in the house and those things. It's the first time my wife was like, this is my kitchen and you've taken it from me. Like it was a struggle. The end of that week, I was cleaning. I was in there like just trying to do it as quick as possible and get through it without breaking stuff, obviously, because it's the Defiant. But
how many Q-tips did you go through?
It was a whole pack, whatever, like 100 pack or 200 pack. It was a big, huge pack of Q-tips. Yeah.
Just talking to Erica alone about it. When I brought it to her attention, she's like looked at me. She was like, "Mike, he took my damn kitchen away from me."
Yeah, true story.
I'm surprised you had the room in the kitchen. I put mine in the bathtub.
Yeah, made the room.
No, and it's crazy too because I just repurchased anyway a Crusader. Oh yeah, that thing's beautiful.
Oh.
See, but doesn't it let me try this in English. When you keep it up like that, doesn't it leave strain on the crank and the little things that are holding?
I can't help it.
It's like
I'm afraid your mind is in the gutter tonight.
We started with Toyz, and now it's cranks and shafts.
I don't have the springs attached, so and then I have wood holding it as a separate like a second tier support so that it can stay in that position without any strain on it. And then I have wood supports under the frame because so that the wheels don't flatten out and snap.
Right on. Yeah, dude, I should have a Crusader here any day now. Bought it what I feel like was a year ago, and guy shipped it out after I reached out to him to ask him where it was. So he's thoughtful. I guess he was waiting until after the holiday. Which holiday I couldn't tell you, and I'm just an impatient shit. But once it does, brother, I'm right there with you, Rick. I'm gonna baptize the life out of that thing. It's like a Romanian priest. I'm dunking that thing fast forward in water repeatedly because I can only imagine how grimy it is. I don't understand why, but
it's so detailed. Like, you know, it's like it's good and bad. It's super detailed, but you know, just be careful.
That's one of those things where it's like, you know, they when they designed it to look freaking amazing, and now 30 years later, everything that made it freaking amazing is basically a grime magnet.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I find interesting about some of like the old vehicles is when I'm cleaning them or I'm putting them back together, some of the parts that like went through QA, I'm like, wait a second, how did that pass any sort of test?
Yeah.
And not break? Everything on the Defiant breaks. Like you look at it and it breaks. I'm trying not to look at it, but it just breaks. Even on the flag, everything breaks. And I'm like, wow, it's like when I was at Hasbro and it's like you have the strict QA standards, I'm like, wow, it's amazing what 30 years will do as far as QA standards.
And yet my original Vamp is still, which I played with like there's no tomorrow, but that 82 Vamp of mine still looks just as good as when I first got it.
Yeah.
Well, you have to think about it like cars. Like cars in the 60s, 70s, late 70s, even like first couple of years of the 80s were really great. But then cars that were made in like the mid to late 80s were absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
So it's like that, like everything, the quality of things just went down tremendously.
Facts.
Hey, one thing I wanted to talk about just real quick, since it's like almost Christmas and all that stuff, and I've got he'll be sick. I've got a kid that's gonna be 6 in about a week. He's been asking for he's got some Joe stuff. When he turned 4, I think he turned 4. I started giving him a few Joe figures and stuff, and at this point he's probably got like 30 figures, like modern, vintage. He's got maybe 4 or 5 vehicles. But he's been asking for a Rattler for, I don't know, since he was 4. Like one of the first things he wanted was the Rattler, and I still hadn't gotten it, so I'm getting him a Rattler. It's just it's the Target one, the newer one. So it won't break as soon as he looks at it. But I got him that, and like a few of I got him some Dreadnoks, just the modern ones. He's been wanting those. What else did I get? I got him a bazooka because he has Alpine, and we watch the cartoons, so he knows that they're buddies. That's awesome. But it's kind of neat. And my point is, I know there's not a lot of Joe stuff going on, but like if you do have kids, show them the cartoon, show them, some of the episodes, and you can still make G.I. Joe part of your Christmas. Like for me, I'm super excited because now that he's 6, every year, obviously, it becomes more interactive. And watching him play, it re-energizes. And I'm already passionate as hell about toy collecting, but it actually re-energizes me even a little bit just watching him play, and then we play together and stuff. But yeah, I've been thinking about posting some pictures. I know it's kind of a private thing like Christmas and all that stuff, but I may post just some videos or stuff of him and some of the other stuff. This is a big Masters of the Universe. His birthday, I'm doing a lot of Joe stuff, but the Masters of the Universe stuff, I got him some Grail stuff, some stuff I probably shouldn't have. And I just want to see, I never had a Castle Grayskull when I was growing up. I had Point Dread, but I never had the Castle. And I remember like there was a Christmas where I wanted it. I'm like, he comes in my room all the time. So before, like back in September, he came in and I said, what do you want? And of course, first thing he points to is like Hot Toys. And I'm like, no Hot Toys. Point to what other stuff in the room do you like? What is it that you like? And we watch a lot of the cartoons. And the first thing he said was, he pointed to the shelf up here, and it's Castle Grayskull. And he's been talking about it. Like he's at that age now where, he's got some Hot Wheels, and he loves the little Hot Wheels play sets. He likes the Joe vehicles. He likes being able to build stuff. And we've been playing with shoe boxes and like just big like Amazon boxes for like the last few months. Like everything is, this is this building and this is this ship, and he's got the Vamp, and he's got the Dominant. He's got a few vehicles, but not a lot. So I'm excited to like see his look when he sees the Rattler and Castle Grayskull. So you might see some of that pop up on Instagram.
Dude,
So
my mom, when Castle Grayskull first came out, I still lived in the Bronx. My mom took it out of the box, was super excited to give it to me, sat it on the freaking radiator, and waited till the next morning. So next morning, I wake up and come out, and my mom's, heartbroken. I couldn't understand why, and she points. Grayskull is just melted.
Oh my
and
God.
like back in those days, whatever it was, like $20 or whatever, it was like, I'm not getting you another one. I'm just not getting you another one. It's like, okay, so I'll just play with this one then. But so I can only imagine how his eyes are gonna. Now let me ask you this: did you get him the vintage one, or did you get him the remake?
Oh, I got him the new one.
Nice.
I found a guy that I used to do business with in New York, and he had two of them.
Wait, you got him the Maddie collector one? The one that's like the size of my house?
Oh, yeah. I told you I've lost my mind. This kid makes
Rick,
me.
You can adopt me and I'll be your kid.
I've had a few people say that to me. But yeah, man, I can't wait. Like it's going to be crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always liked the 2000X one, when they did the revival line.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Because it was, I remember the Masters, the Grayskull playset. A buddy of mine had it, and we were messing with it, and they had it was kind of like the Comtech chips. They were built in the foot of each figure.
Yeah.
So if you had like a hero figure and you took him to the gate of Grayskull,
yeah,
drawbridge would drop. You could go in. You took a villain figure, and it's basically like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
right.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Rick, I don't know if you've how you've been watching the cartoons with them, but we're cord cutters here, so we have like a Roku and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And was it 2B TV originally had a lot of the old Hasbro cartoons on it? I was on my Roku last night searching. There is apparently a Hasbro Studios app on Roku, and it has commercials, and all it has is Transformers and Deke and Sunbow and Renegades.
That's cool.
So, I mean, you get commercials, and it's for weird stuff like, Travel Idaho.
Right.
But that's another way if you want to stream it. You don't always, that he could do himself and not have to mess with the discs or anything.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
It's also got Conan. It's weird. Hasbro's app also has the Conan, the Adventures of Conan cartoon on there, which has there's you never see, but there's no Inhumanoids. There's no Gem. There's like none of their other stuff. It's just G.I. Joe, Transformers, and then Conan.
No Gem. Hasbro thought that was going to be such a big thing. Gem.
They thought that movie was going to be truly outrageous.
They thought it was so big that they gave it a $5 million budget.
Oh,
yeah. I'm gonna make a Hollywood movie off of dog shit. That'll get me right.
Hey, Bobby, I got a question for you. In all your time at Hasbro, did you ever hear anybody mention the Inhumanoids as like, hey, let's do something with this?
I think it was thrown around at some point. Nothing that I can remember, but I try to think of all the other stuff they own. Shit, they own Silverhawks,
Right.
Uh-huh.
Whoa! They own Silverhawks now?
I'm pretty sure they own Silverhawks.
Because didn't Hasbro buy LJN?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, then hold on. Who did the Thundercats though?
LJN.
LJN did that.
And they did all the anamorphic things. So they did Tigerhawks, Thundercats, and Silverhawks, Thundercats, and Tiger Sharks, which was the fish.
Yeah, Tiger. Yep.
Are you telling me that in theory Hasbro now owns the rights to Thundercats
Not Thundercats, because
Okay.
I think Mattel still owns that, and I'm not 100% sure on Silverhawks. I just know that when I went through our archives, where we have all the old, like, one of everything, like, they had Silverhawks there, and I thought that they owned it, but think of like something like Centurions. I think they own Centurions, like that was they own all the Kenner brands. So Mask, Centurions, anything that Kenner did that was Kenner created, they own. So, you know, you talked earlier about like, oh, you know, they'll do something with it one day. I don't know, man. Look at how many brands they own. They're not doing anything with.
How that doesn't even make sense to me, and I'm not like disputing anything you've said. It just the logic is gone. You own all of this.
You own it.
But dude, think of how many things though that they owned as well that kind of like never got used, and now it's an open IP. A prime example, Cops.
Yep.
Without throwing it out there, everyone on this panel knows who is going after Cops, and it's going to be a line soon. And it's a freaking bummer that, you know, we couldn't see that incorporated. God damn it. I mean, Bulletproof's kid is in the line. You know, he's like, what are we doing here? Back to Bobby's point, how many things are in their portfolio that you could have easily dipped into, but the dynamics of today's culture won't allow it. You can't have too many guns because holy crap, little Billy can't play with fucking guns.
Wait.
This, that, the other. It's
Hold on a second. Was Cops done by Hasbro or Kenner?
I think that was
Hasbro.
Hasbro.
Yeah.
Hasbro, but they didn't develop it, correct?
See, I don't know.
Yeah, that I couldn't answer for you either, brother.
If you're saying that someone's going to do it, Hasbro never gets rid of any of their IP.
All right, I got to look up because
Yeah,
I wasn't
I can actually here I can super sleuth real quick and show you guys something.
I wasn't a Cops fan, but I remember it was a Hasbro product.
The one thing Hasbro is really good at is not letting any of their shit go. Well, except people, they let people go.
I was waiting for it about Bobby. I was
going to say, and that was freaking smart.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Okay, Cops and Crooks was blah blah blah. I don't care about donating to your website. Go away.
No. Well, look, it looks like it's been moved, but I know that it was public knowledge and people did talk about it for quite some time, so I'm just going to throw it out there. On Fresh Monkey Fiction's website, they had accidentally, I don't know if it was accidental or just very coy marketing, had thrown up one of the robbers, if you will, from the Cops versus Villains or versus Robbers line. Several of us threw it in our carts and tried to buy it, and we're shot down like, no, like, sorry, that was just a placeholder kind of thing. If you look in the Eagle Force handbook, many of those characters from that mythos, if you will, are now in the Eagle Force line. So I'm not sure if it's a Remco thing. I'm not sure how they were able to even remotely come close to humor and getting these things, but I can tell you for pretty much a fact that a few of those characters will be incorporated into the into the Eagle Force expanded line, if you will. The heroes versus villains, the monsters, all that jazz.
Coming to a Kickstarter near you.
I hope they're careful about it.
Yeah. No, and I think, to my understanding, he's been doing everything. I mean, super dotting the I's and crossing the T's, where his lawyer fees are more than just about anything else. So maybe it got pulled because of that same scenario that you're referring to.
Yeah.
But anything that's out there, I'm pretty sure he's gotten the blessing to run with. So I'm wondering if it wasn't a thing that, you know, it's a Remco thing or some jazz like that.
Yeah.
Well, there was that period of time, if you remember, when they were doing the Real American Hero Classics line, where Hasbro lost certain copyrights. They had to work to get them back.
Double blast and all that jazz.
They lose trademarks. They don't lose copyright.
Trademarks. I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah. Which is why Eagle Force can do Eagle Force, because you trademark the name. You can't do someone's copyrighted design. Like, say a trademark ran out for I just saw Power Rangers in Rick's their back. Say the trademark for Power Rangers ran out, hypothetically. You can take the name Power Rangers, but you cannot take the designs. A copyrighted design never runs out. It lasts forever. It's your design. You created. No one can ever take it from you. Whether you pay the fees on the government website or not, it never runs out. But a trademark can run out.
Can
run out. So that's what they lose is trademarks.
Yeah, then to your point though, brother, then that makes a lot of sense. Then that's where they probably got it, just to trademark names as opposed to character design or anything like that.
Well, in a lot of that handbook, Justin Bell contributed a lot to that
Yeah, he
handbook,
sure
and
did.
Justin is a huge Cops and Crooks fan.
Yep.
You know, kind of like when the club was doing their adventure team bios, and there were nods to Johnny Quest all over a bunch of their bios, which, again, you know, I would have killed for a good in scale Johnny Quest line, but then again, I apparently like things that are really old.
What are you doing?
Whoa. 50 some years now.
Fred, as long as they did Frankenstein Jr. as well, I'd be cool with that. Now that's old. That's old, my friend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have appreciation for Hanna-Barbera.
Oh my God, Hanna-Barbera, like they were, you know, it's funny. Sunbow was like, to me, the big gun of animation in the 80s, you know, especially the mid 80s on, because their stuff looked realistic, and it was, or Marvel's, I should say Marvel's Productions or whatever, however that is. But man, as a kid that was born in 73, because I'm old, Hanna-Barbera, like they dominated the 60s and 70s, you know, and even the early 80s, because I mean the Super Friends, the cartoon of my childhood, for like what, 12 freaking years.
Yep.
That was all Hanna-Barbera.
Yep. It's funny you bring up all these old cartoons, and not to sidetrack, I was talking to a family member that I hadn't spoken to in forever, and she was mentioning how it's going to be a great time me watching cartoons with my kid as I did with them when I was younger. And I don't know if she's got her feet grounded in reality, but her immediate go-to was, do you remember how much fun we had watching Heckle and Jekyll? It's like one of the most racist cartoons that you could have possibly pulled out of your hat is the one that you want to go to as a fond memory. She's like, well, you know, and Mighty Mouse and
yeah, it was coupled. I was gonna say it was coupled with Mighty Mouse. I remember.
Where's Song of the South? Bring up Song of the South. The movie that Disney's like, oh shit, we did that.
Yep. I was like, well, you know, in today's day and age, that is kind of like frowned upon. And she's like, no, they weren't any, you know, different than the crows in Dumbo. And I'm like, lady, look, I love you. I got to go. I don't like where this is taking an ugly turn. You reminded me of my dad, like angry old Italian people. I got to go. I got to go.
Well, there's that whole article that's going out now, and again, it's all the social outrage, you know, because you know that's always a thing. But it's about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Rankin Bass.
Oh,
one.
I'm so pissed about that.
What's wrong? What's wrong with? Tell me what's wrong with it.
Well, okay, so the whole point is that you can have some sort of weird disability, and it's okay to isolate you for it until you're useful. Because you know, Rudolph has this mutation, and everybody treats him like crap. Even his dad, except for, and then the one guy's like, man, Santa comes to me and says, hey, will you guide my sleigh? I'd be like, you can go spin, pal.
Right.
You know, so they talked about that. They talked about.
Oh God, is Herbie a social justice warrior now?
Hermie.
Yeah.
It was like they were just kind of going through
because 2018.
Hey, so guys, let me cut you off real quick. Skinny's obviously in the chat there. What's up, buddy? And he sent over the trademark link, which I obviously just copied over Big Bad Toy Store again because I don't know what Control C he did. But anyway, he did share the trademark for Cops and Crooks, and it is definitely the party name of Fresh Monkey Fiction LLC.
Oh.
So Fresh Monkey Fiction did gank that trademark. Let me see. Oh, look, I learned how to use my freaking computer. That's adorable.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again,
it's not like Hasbro's done anything with it in forever.
Yeah.
Though.
Good job. Honestly. Good job, Hasbro.
Your why would you ever let something that you developed
stellar company
go to anyone? I mean, you know, again, it's like, I know we beat this into the ground, but it's like, you know, I love the fact that, you know, that there's always Star Wars product out. I don't collect it anymore, but I love the fact. But you make way the hell more money on in-house stuff.
You're talking too much logic, dude. Way too much logic. I'm running Hasbro. What I want to do is I want to throw as much money as I possibly can at Paramount with the hope and dream that they're going to take my IP and do something with it that I'm unable to do because I have too many people at the top that are so used to being yes men that now that they're in charge of the yes men, they don't know what the hell to do with themselves. I'm going to sound real salty here, but it reminds me of my tenure at General Motors. Fun fact for all you guys, and GM, if you're listening to me, mind to me guys. So when Transformers, the movie, first came out, and that beautiful Camaro was all over, and Bumblebee was the shit. Do you know we didn't have that vehicle ready to go on the road at all?
I read that. It was a prototype, from a skunk work, and then they were like, people were calling dealerships going, where can I get this?
And we just weren't prepared for it. We just weren't. Then I got in all sorts of trouble because my boss told me that I can share images of a Hummer that was supposed to be in the Transformers movie. So if you go back to His Tank's front page to 2007 or 2008, you can probably find it. But anyway, that never came to fruition. They lost that too. So seeing that Hasbro doesn't use something and loses it, I mean, not that it doesn't suck, but it's not uncommon either. It's just very dumb to lose, to Fred's point, lose something that you created. And with all the dynamics of, war and this and that and whatever side of the political stream that you're on, there's one thing that little kids always love to play: cops and fucking crooks. So, you know. So
and it's set in the future too. So it's not even. They were smart by setting it in the future because it's not the cops of today.
It was a fun gimmick having the little cap toys in it. Granted, you may not be able to do that now, but whatever. It was still fun enough that it was a bigger figure. If you recall, it was almost like a 6-inch or maybe a 5-inch figure.
Yeah.
It was just fun hand kibble. Now, I wish Fresh Monkey Fiction the best of luck with it, and I hope that it becomes something awesome again, because it's a real shame that the big three, if you will, the big two anyway, need to step aside. It's a Kickstarter world now. Everybody's blowing everybody else out of the water in terms of product and manufacturing and all this shit. And when our G.I. Joe fan base is, really, actually, I never thought I'd see the day where people are looking forward to paying $20-25 a figure. It says a lot. I remember the days where you'd be hard pressed to get these guys to pay $15.99 for a 2-pack. Yeah. And now everybody's like, oh shit, you know what? An FSS 5 figure for $90, I'll take 5. Sure.
A 2-pack of repaints for $96? I'm on that.
I'm all over that.
That's a fair deal.
And that's what I don't get it. When half of our friends had the opportunity to buy it and support the brand, it's like, get out of here. But then now they look at it on eBay and they're like, you know what? Sure, that's Blowtorch version 7007, but he does come with a fucking, a lighter, a Zippo in his front pocket. I need that version. I'm going to buy it for $90.
That's because they were looking at Rick's Instagram again and saw Rick's
pictures of it. I'll have to do some Blowtorch. I haven't done any Blowtorch pictures. Maybe I'll do
that. The good thing is I have them all, so you won't force me to go do anything silly when I drink and get on eBay.
You say that now.
It's a sickness. Don't do it. It's a sickness.
You say
totally
it
a
now.
sickness. Absolutely a sickness. This is therapy. This is our therapy group.
We've been talking about this the whole time. I'd be lying to each and every one if I didn't say the minute we get off this freaking call, because of Bobby, I'm going to go look for Ninja Turtles. I already have 3.
Just don't buy a new one.
So here, I'll beat you to it. So I started getting them. But what happens is this happens to me every time, and I don't know why I do it, because I'm like a glutton for punishment. I'll start collecting a line, and I'll get like halfway through it, and I'll be like, it's just not Joe. It's not the same. That magic isn't there. So then I'll just sell it. I did it with Masters of the Universe. I said, I'm going to go and I'm going to collect vintage Masters of the Universe. And I got about 80% of the line. And I was like, it doesn't do it for me. Plus, I think it's like the space. If my room is just Joe, and I just have enough room for Joe. If I don't have the room to put something out, I'm like over it in like a week. So I got rid of all my Masters of the Universe. The good thing was I made almost double my money. So now I have a good amount of turtles and file cards, and I'm like, well, I think I'm just gonna sell them. Because now I'm like, well, I don't think I want them anymore. It's like, it was cool and nostalgic that I was getting them in the mail. I was looking at them like, because they're such well-made figures. The product that they were putting out, I wish I was a designer on them at that time. It was so awesome. But now I'm like, well, I got them, but I can't put them out. I can't display them. It's not Joe. It's never going to be Joe. So I'm just going to sell them now. So I'm probably gonna list them on eBay tonight or tomorrow. But if you want them, I'll sell the whole lot. But I do that with everything. I did it with the Toyz Lord of the Rings figures. So I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I just think like, and I was talking to my friend, I was texting with him. He goes, dude, why don't you collect superpowers? And I'm like, yeah, but I'll collect superpowers, but it's an expensive line, and two, I'm gonna get halfway done with it, and then I'm gonna be over it. I don't think there's anything to me that can replace Joe, but I have that sickness, that disease where I need to like collect something. So I buy like weird stuff. It's like I started buying every uncut file card that was made, and then I started buying all the figures that came in the sealed mailaway bags, and like I try to find little branches. Because it's like, yeah, I try to buy every Steel Brigade figure, but I started doing that, and then people started seeing that Steel Brigade was selling, and then sellers started selling them higher. So I kind of screwed myself and everyone else.
Single-handedly drew the market up.
I saw a guy trying to sell Steel Brigade with a file card and the patch and everything for like $350. I'm like, ooh, I guess I drove the market up. But now it's like, now I'm not buying any of them because everyone's so high. But
I'm pretty sure I have you to blame for the mail-away iceberg with Rock Viper gun sealed that I was looking at, and then it just fucking appeared, and I'm like, no, who's gonna buy an iceberg with a Rock Viper gun? And like 2 days later, I see your Instagram. I'm like, oh, buddy.
Yeah, that's what's funny. It's like I'll see something, I'll get it. If something like I buy it now and I catch it when it first lists, and then like a week later it goes on Instagram. I'm like, I wonder how many people this is gonna piss off. Where they're like, damn it, man, I saw that, I was gonna buy it.
Dude, most definitely, that was one of those things where it was like, damn it, dude, I need that. I've
never seen it. So I saw it, and I'm like, oh shit, a sealed one, definitely. Now,
just like some gentleman had a Brazilian Slaughters Marauders battle barge. So the Cobra battle barge, but real decked out in Slaughters Marauders, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna go buy this right now. And as I'm going to buy it, dude, and I got it in my cart and I had checkout, it's like, this item is no longer available. Like, I was waiting for tonight to see if any of you guys were like, because that was just bait I was throwing out there to see if anybody bought it. But
I guess we'll post it on Instagram for a couple days.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
Yeah, but really, and dude, whoever got it for a steal because they got it for $30. Where that Mercado Libre, the Brazilian eBay. The cheapest one I could find was about $50-$60 shipped here to the States.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, so luck of the draw, man. Luck of the draw.
I wanted to point out real quick before we end the show that 2 weeks ago we had Duff Man on, and their show is tomorrow if you're in the Southern California area. But on their Facebook page, they have a wait list for their exclusives after the show, which is the Python Crimson Snake Armor Pilot, which will come carded with a patch, and then the 3-pack Python Crimson SAP patch and file card set.
Yeah, that figure's pretty neat.
Yeah, all his exclusives have pretty much sold out before early afternoon, so I don't. Unless they plan on producing some more afterwards, I really don't see there being many left over. But if you still want to sign up for the to get on the wait list, you have to go over to Facebook to the Southern Cal Joe Show and Toy Convention page.
Yeah, a good buddy is going to the show and offered to pick one up for me, and I always hate being that guy. Like, you're at the show, I understand how shows are. Like, SDCC is just gotten into my head that I never ask anyone for anything. Like, blinds are the fucking worst, so I'm not going to do it to you. But that's
Eric, I need a favor.
What's that?
Ask your buddy to get in line for me. No, I was kidding.
Do you really want one?
No, I'll wait.
I'll put you in touch with him. I'm not going to ask him for you. I can have you guys talk to one another and get that squared. No, all kidding aside, brother. If you do, just shoot me a line offline, and we'll get you squared away. But best of luck to Duff, man. I'm sure a lot of people are talking about heading out, so it should be a good time.
I think it goes to show people are still wanting to get together with their fellow fans of this brand and, just basically have that shared experience, because especially as the Joe community seems to get smaller and smaller, it's not like you can go to work and, hey, I picked up a Crimson Guard this weekend, and people are like, what the hell is Fred talking about? Oh, is that one of his weird army toy things? Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, when you say G.I. Joe in front of certain people, you do get some looks. For sure.
If they even recognize it,
Right.
there was a dude I ran into. I was in high school with his younger sister, and ran into him at Walmart like a year ago, and he had his kids with him, and he's like, yeah, he looks at his son, he goes, Fred has a huge G.I. Joe collection, and his son shot him a look back, like, he had basically said, Fred collects pancreas.
Right.
He had no idea what the brand even was.
Yeah.
So, these shows like this they're a chance for us to kind of recharge our fandom batteries a little bit and not just feel like, like around here. I mean, I have like no friends in this area that collect action figures, so, for me, going to a show is kind of nice because I can hang out with people and not feel like a complete, not feel like that creepy guy stalking the toy aisle, because I'm looking at, vintage action figures or trying to get a Steel Brigade before Bobby snatches it up. So.
Yeah, good luck.
Every time Black Major and those guys re-release new ones, I'm like, has Bobby seen this yet?
Listen, there's two that they need to do, and they haven't done them yet. And I just want them to do it. They need to do a Slaughters Marauders Steel Brigade, and they need to do an Eco Force Steel Brigade. Do those two, and I have every faction because I have all their other ones.
Yep.
Slaughters Marauders, Eco Force. Get on.
I'll make a few calls right now.
I gotta say,
Done.
I used to hate Eco Force, used to think it was ridiculous, and then it was Eric Arana posted that picture of Eco Warriors Snake Eyes, Eco Force Snake Eyes, and I'm like, shit, I need this. And I bought an extra Latal and got John's kit, and I freaking love my Dayglow Snake Eyes with his like translucent blue wolf. Like that's just awesome.
Hey guys, question for you. Skinny's asking, what did we think about Welcome to Marwin, if anybody saw it, since it is an action figure-based movie? Steve Carell, where he's the toy photographer or whatever.
Is it out now? I knew it was coming out soon, but I didn't know what the date was.
Oh, I don't know if anybody if it's out yet. He's asking, what do you guys think of Welcome to Marwin? I think it looks awesome. If it's out, I plan on seeing it.
Yeah, I think it looks. The guy Mark Otness, who does Patches of Pride, who's one of the closest Geographic Joe fans to where I live that I know of. He supplied like some patches and some things for
and it's on the bomber jacket. That's really neat.
And so I was kind of aware of it from that. I think it's going to be amazing to see like these 12-inch sequences. At the same time, it's not a super upbeat story because what happened to the guy in that film, in real life was pretty horrific. I mean, he was beaten like within an inch of his life, has like massive brain damage, doesn't remember whole things, and this was his coping mechanism. So
definitely a Christmas movie.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it'll be kind of interesting because it'll show how an adult relates to these products that are perceived as kids' toys.
Yeah.
So,
come next year, I know 1, 2, 3. I know 4 of us for sure are going to be at a Joe Fest in Augusta Toy Comic Show. I know me and Fred have been invited as guests for that, and we'll be in attendance, which is June 21st, 22nd, the Friday night, Saturday show. Bobby, did you have any plans to actually even attempt to go to that show?
When is it?
June 21st, 22nd, down in Augusta, Georgia.
Oh, that's like right after my birthday. Georgia, I don't have a job. I'm sure I could probably pull some strings. It'd be nice. I mean, it'd be cool.
Hey, man, Sergeant Slaughter's going to be there. You got to go down there and give him the Cobra Clutch.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, now that I'm like going to be a guest at the Arkansas show, I mean, I don't think I could go as a regular person. They might have to like
invite you.
No, I mean, I've been toying with the idea of like doing all these shows, I guess it's probably a good time that I can say it now. So just to let you guys know, I was going to say something eventually, but I did just apply and file the trademark for my own company. So,
Nice.
Hell yeah!
So some things are in the works, and I'm going to be doing something, and I'm probably going to want to be doing all these shows. So things are going to start coming. Not quick. I'm still working on it and getting everything straight. But I'm working on things, and you're going to see something cool coming. So
Hell yeah!
I'll probably be doing all these shows. Just to show what I'm working on and getting people excited for it. So yeah. So stay tuned.
Awesome.
Cool. Good to hear.
I wasn't invited as a super celebrity guest, but I will be there.
Same.
I don't know how the hell they invited us. I mean, quite honestly, look, we're just ordinary dudes. We do this YouTube thing. I run a hack website where, oh God, it's been an logic 8. Fred reviewed something.
Well, I think most of it, I mean, we're so normal that we were going to be sharing a table with Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Which is,
yeah.
I think is awesome.
Actually, that's actually pretty awesome.
James is
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Only if he dresses in a dress, it'll be awesome.
I was busting their chops like, God damn it, I've shared every bit of news. I better get invited. Like the sense of entitlement raging through me at that point was entirely.
And suddenly our table gains yet another person at it.
Like you see why I invite him on the show every so often.
I'm that asshole CIAD that probably banned you from his tank at some point. Like Authorita.
Or the Collectors Club site.
I remember at one point that there was talk of getting T-shirts that said "I've been banned from his tank."
His tank, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, if I could go back and shake all those poor guys' hands and tell them like fucking I was doing a job, and little did I know that I was doing the devil's work. What can you do, man?
Oh, I laugh because it's true.
Wait, Eric, were you running his tank?
For put it like this, man. Fran, Alex, and Colin actually own and operate the Toy Arc network. But for a very long time, from 2006 till maybe about a year or so ago, I was the chief editor and web content manager for his tank. So every bit of news that came out was up to me, kind of thing,
Okay.
So wacky hijinks ensued where some really poor information came out, and there was a lot of drama on the board and all this shit, and I was just plucked right there in the middle of it. And Fran came along one day, was like, I'm not dealing with this shit anymore, and just about he Thanos snapped and wiped out half the board. And of course, I was the face of the board at that time, so I'm the asshole that's associated with it. But, the way the cookie crumbles.
Gotcha. Now, are you surveillance port on Instagram?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
all right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep, that is
Hey, Bobby, when you have your company up and running, can you do a teaser video where you walk out into the desert and you're standing with your Infinity Gauntlet and there's a bunch of suits behind you and you just snap, all the suits disappear, and then you walk into a store and it's like a whole aisle of your military product, maybe.
The Bobby verse.
Yeah, exactly.
But wait,
Valaverse, Bobbyverse or Valaverse?
if I do that, do I have to give you a cut?
Nah.
No.
I think it would be amazing.
We just want inside trader information.
I think it would be amazing, Bobby.
Wait till you guys. Wait till I show you. I just because I filed for the trademark and I just finished the logo today to file for the copyright. So wait till you
That's
see
awesome.
that.
Good luck to you, brother. That's
Thanks.
awesome.
Thanks. When someone turns their back on you, they give you all this freedom to kind of go do something to stick it to them. So
Yeah.
Bobby, the best career moves that have ever happened to me have been, for the last one was after I was laid off from the company that I was at for 7 years.
That's what everyone says.
Complete, because you know why? You end up all the things that you were like, well, yeah, I really shouldn't do that because I'm here and screw it, out the door, and you can reinvent yourself however you want.
I have noticed, like, since the layoff, like not the first couple of weeks, but like since then, I've been like so much more creative. Like I would be creative at work because it's like you're working on the product. But when I left, I never thought about like toys and like ideas and concepts or anything like that. Cause I was like, screw that. I'm so burnt out from that place that I just didn't want to think about it anymore. But it's like I have like this renewed kind of energy and I'm thinking about all this cool stuff and it's like flowing like really fast. And I'm like, this is awesome.
That is awesome.
Like, I got my new studio set up and it's like I just set up where I bought an airbrush and a spray booth and I'm going to be working on all the prototypes for the figures and all the customizing for the figures there.
Nice.
So everything's coming together. It's coming together. It's really exciting. Very exciting.
Well, if there's ever anything, I can speak for everyone here. If there's ever anything that any of us in our various disciplines can do to help.
Amen to that.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
And I ask for nothing in return other than a firm handshake and a neat drink.
And wave one of everything you make.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us would just like to look back and go, you know what? Hey, you have you seen the new Voliverse thing? You know why that's red? Because that was my suggestion. That's all anybody cares. It's that feeling of helping somebody out that has done you solids in the past. That you're like, hey, why not? That's the kind of thing that I'm like super grateful for. It's like, everyone's been awesome. The fans are awesome. Like the whole community is awesome. So that, I was thinking about it like, wow, it's like, you want to kind of give back to everyone that has kind of, thanked you over the years and appreciated what you did. So it's like, this is going to be like me, like thanking everyone. And I know there's going to be people bitching probably on his tank, but you can't.
What?
I know
People
like
raging?
I just hope that when and if my thing comes out, that people will like it and people will appreciate what I'm trying to do for filling the void in the toy world or trying to come up with something awesome. I want people to know that I'm trying to do my best. I'm definitely not going to pull a General Hawk. But when it comes time, I'm told, most likely it will probably start with a Kickstarter just because everyone kind of starts that way. I'm just, in the early stages of thinking of the logistics of it, but I'm going to be like a hooker on the corner, man. I'm going to be out on podcasts. I'm going to be on everyone's news sites. And the good thing is meeting all the guys that do, Toy Arc and the Foosh and Action Figure Insider and so many other outlets. It's good to know these people and kind of get in contact with them because when it comes time for me to do this, I'm going to need their help too, and I'm going to need everyone's help to kind of get this out there, and because I want it to be successful.
We'll pimp the shit out of that Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
No worries there. And you know what? Before we go further, I just want to throw out a little fucking mea culpa. Jeff Patton, who's Zero Fall, the main guy now, kind of running the show over at His Tank, always just bitches at me when I come on this show because we always bitch about His Tank complaining. So in his defense, it's one of the last bastions on the internet where you can't actually go and complain about shit without fear of getting banned immediately because obviously I'm not there. So I can kind of dig why people go there to bitch because you can't go over to the board, the club where you paid for. You can't go there and bitch because no one wants to hear about your toy complaints or your lackluster feel towards Tommy Bahama crease pleats. So.
Wow. This is
not that I'm salty at all. Not even a little.
Saltiest I've ever heard Eric, and I'm kind of digging it.
If anyone was salty about being banned from that website, it ought to be me.
No, it's just I dig where you're coming from. You don't want negativity on your board. You're selling a product. You don't want to hear it. I dig it. But it's a different story if it was a free website. Now, the caveat to that is when I signed the terms and conditions, it clearly did state there that I can't be a fucking stunad without ramifications of getting booted from the board. I get it. But it's your dying throws here, guys. You at least somebody is talking on that hack phishing nonsense that you call a website. Rice paper condoms are more secure than that website. Are you kidding me? And you have people go in there. God forbid you quote somebody. The minute you quote them, their email, mother's maiden, last four, their social, or in the response. Every time you come off of there, you have 9 emails from Apple saying that your account's been fucking compromised. You should let people bitch a little bit, my guy. It's going to be okay. I promise. You're riding off into the sunset in about not even 30 days. Like, let it happen.
Well,
Just
the other thing about that too is, when I used to work, when the company that laid me off years ago after working there, I used to do their corporate surveys. And there were people there that were like, "Oh no, we can't send this to this client because they're going to give us negative response." You know what? Negative response is a freaking opportunity, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially in forums and in the age of social media.
Right.
The last agency I just worked at, we had clients. "Oh no, we had a bad review. Can we remove that?" No. The whole point is that you take this, turn this into a positive, and and use it as look. You're not going to win people over all the time, but nobody. The worst thing you can do is, especially if you're an organization that's taking money from people for membership, is to run it like a totalitarian dictatorship where all comments that are negative to Stalin are removed, and we all must salute, grab our little red book of club and read from that every day. Like, it doesn't make any damn sense. So, someday when again Voliverse is up, and I know that we're just calling it that,
Voliverse.
and somebody comes on and goes, "Bobby, I hate the Toe Jam figure because it only has 8 toes and it looks like some guy from Arkansas. And this is stupid. Nobody's that ugly." And Bobby's gonna go, "Well, actually, the figure is an homage to my tittle," and he's not gonna just delete the comment. He's gonna turn around and do something positive with it.
Well, I will tell you guys this: when I start my thing, I'll welcome the shit out of that negative feedback. But just know, if you come bitching, I'm gonna challenge you. And if it's not something, and I tell you why something is the way it is, we'll see how you deal with it then. Because a lot of people tend to quiet up when you give them facts. So I'm all down for the negativity. Just know you're not gonna go on his tank, and you're not gonna bitch about something and then not get anyone challenging you. If you come on where I'm gonna let you come on and bitch, just know I'm gonna see it. And I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna welcome it. I'm gonna challenge you. But if you back down, and if you don't respond, then I'll be like, "All right, well, you're a coward. All right, take off." But hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it because
that deserves its own sound effect.
Negativity can be seen as constructive, and when you hear people's thoughts, is how you get better and how you're able to kind of right wrongs and this and that. But it's like, look, guys, I've given out my email on here, my Instagram, this and that. It's like, I've never had one person come to me and say, "Hey, F you for screwing up General Hawk. Give me my $30 back."
Right.
I welcomed it. But, it's like, hey, listen, I told you what happened. But hey, listen, if you want to bitch, you could bitch. But,
But it's to your point, man, I'm sure we got to get out of here. But again, to your point, once you hit people with facts, and this is the problem that I always had, people would bitch from this, that, and the other and want to cry about something. And when you try to get logical and try to explain fact, it removes that layer of, it introduces a layer of nonsensical jargon and word salad from them because they have nothing to retort with. Like, "Oh, I remember when my G.I. Joes were $4.88 at Walmart." Yeah, and I remember when fucking corduroy pants were the bomb too, my dude.
Boy, y'all bitch about me.
Zeke Everici's, that was fun. And remember British Knight Ambassadors? We can do this all day.
Hey, Bobby, I heard another character name in there. I need word salad. I need word salad and Toe Jam. Your communications officer has to be word salad.
Word salad.
Oh my God. You guys are not going to tell me that you've never, and it doesn't matter what board it is. It's that one guy that's like, "I don't want to complain, but," and then it's that copy of War and Peace with not one comma, not one apostrophe, not nothing. Caps lock, sounding words out. So it's kind of like an LOL cat just bought like Dr. Link Talbot and they lost their shit. Like, no, fucking combat vet. Why'd you give this guy braids? That's racist. Meow, meow, meow. It's gonna happen. So at the minute you hit him with facts, I'm looking forward to the responses.
I can tell Eric is a former board admin because only a forum admin. And I say this from a position of respect, my friend. I get exactly what you're talking about with that. It's like, Jesus God. Sometimes you just want to hit delete user and go have a
And,
beer.
and I want to delete their lineage. It's not just the user. There's got to be something wrong here. And then you get the comments like, you're impeding on my freedom of speech. My guy, did you not read the terms and conditions? I can sew you into a human centipede right now, like South Park.
You just walked into my house, sat down at my table, and demanded that I serve you steak.
You know what though? And I tell you, I deserved every damn thing that happened on his tank for being such a douchebag when I was like 12 and jumping on Yo Joe and giving good old Doc and Bay 97 a hard time every chance I got. So if that guy's watching right now, God bless you, buddy. And I'm so sorry for being for quite a long time.
On that note, we're going to call it a show. We've been going about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow.
So this here was our 2-year anniversary show. Appreciate everyone who was able to make the show, especially Bobby and Eric and Fred. We really don't give a shit. You're here all the time. And Rick.
I'm actually not. I think Rick's here more often than I've been in the last few months.
So, our next episode will be after the new year, and we'll post not links, but we'll post when we get ready to do that. So, go ahead and sign out since we never signed in. Rick, tell people where they can find you at.
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram as Shattered Glass Jazz.
Eric?
You can find me at surveillanceport.com on Twitter, Instagram, G+, Vero, probably the phone book, AOL Instant Messenger. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all.
Bobby?
I'm on Instagram as Vicious Vala, or just search Bobby Vala, and I'm sure I'm the only one that shows up.
And then Fred?
Joe Battlelines, and Eric took my shtick, so it's pretty much Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Plus, the Yellow Pages, Skywriting.
You need one of y'all said, what is it? What's it called? Like a tree or something? What's it called?
Tree?
Wasn't there a tree? Twitch? Was Twitch?
Twitch? That's
Twitch.
what video games.
I only cam on Twitch at nights, buddy. And those are premium shows. We can't talk.
Can't talk about those. Okay,
and by the way, Mike, now that I'm unemployed, I'm finally getting around to covering some stuff you might be interested in.
Well, damn.
Well, it took a while.
Hey.
But yeah, and I to echo also what I'm just like saying ditto to whatever Eric said. But Merry Christmas to everyone out there, including these gentlemen at the bottom of the screen. Happy New Year. I hope 2019 and brings you everything that you're hoping for. It's the generic thing that everybody says. And you know what? Here's to more toy talk in the new year.
I'll play the douche flute for you.
Y'all can find me everywhere as Just Another G.I. Joe. So thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. We'll see you next year.